Coming up on Empower with Tristan Canfor-Dumas.
I wasn't going to church. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my Bible. There were days where I would sit down and I would just cry. Bro, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. When you're in a bad place, but everything seems to be going fine. So it's like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I'm just going to keep making excuses, whether valid or invalid. It's still an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm actually going to do something about it. This is the first thing that I've done that I'm genuinely proud of in my life. And when I started doing that, I gained the confidence to start making the videos that I was making.
Hello. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tristan Canfor-Dumas, and I'm here to empower you to elevate your lives. Bro, today, man, we got the one and only, bro. We got the Valiant poet.
Okay.
Bro, before I even get to this conversation is going to be so nice. Like, I'm not even going to give a long introduction. Just listen to this whole conversation, bro. It will literally change your life. Amen.
Amen.
And without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy, but most importantly, take notes. Valiant poet. For those who don't know your name,
Yes.
please, what's your name?
My name is David Nanajumosapo. I was born in London, raised in Ghana. And I guess the name Valiant Poet comes from King David in the Bible. He was sort of a musician, not sort of, he was a musician, but he was also a man of valor, like they call him. Or the people he was hanging with were called the men of valor. So just kind of combine those two names, and I was like, oh, okay, Valiant Poet, kind of works out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Charlie, this thing has been so long in the making. When I think so long in the making, bro, this is even going back, like even a year, like actually a year around this time. My brother texted me like, yo, there's this guy in Drexel. Bro, this guy, like, if you meet him, bro, I can see you guys doing some work together in the future. And he was like, yeah, bro, let me send you his page. I opened your page. Bro, as soon as I saw the thing, I said, yeah, bro. Yeah,
Really?
bro.
A year ago?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, like, actually, like, around this time, that's when he sends me a page, and he was like, hey, like, I saw this guy, his name is David, bro. He's so cool, he's so chill. But Charlie, bro, the guy, they drop bars. I was like, yeah.
Oh, man,
definitely valid. So, as soon as I came, I made it a point that I have to find this guy.
Yeah. And it was so weird how we met, too. Like, do you want to tell it? Or
say that thing, bro.
I go, like, I'm basically in the gym every day, and I was coming out the gym, and as soon as I came out, this guy was, like, also on his way, and I looked at him, he looked at me. I was just going to be like, yo, what's up, bro? And just keep moving. But he looked at me, he stopped, and he stopped me. I was like, who is this guy? And then he started talking. I was like, okay, by the accent, I feel like he's African. And when he was talking, I was like, oh, he's Ghanaian. And then he talked about his brother, like, and I was like, oh, it has to be Trevor. And then I obviously, I don't think they look alike, but when he mentioned Trevor, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see where that's coming from now. And then I met a bunch of like other Ghanaians as well, so it was like a lot of them. But yeah it was such a like a strange. Like I was just ready to go home. I was ready to go eat my food. Just came out of nowhere. Like he flanked me. I was like, was this guy waiting? I'm not too sure, but yeah, it was interesting.
Bro, we were coming from. I don't even know where we were coming from. We were coming from like one of the welcome.
And
then as I was walking, bro, I just saw you with the headphones. It's the headphones that made me like, wait, is that David Nana? Is that David Nana? Yo, I know you. That's Charlie.
But it was cool though. I wasn't like creeped out. I'm exaggerating, obviously. But like, I as soon as you kind of mentioned it, and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of know.
Yeah, bro. It was just, this is also a lesson to anybody who, if you've seen somebody and you admire what they do, and you just want to go up and go and say hi. Please don't be shy. Like, they are very nice people. He's a very nice person.
I appreciate that. I try to be. I'm very, like, it's funny because I'll post something on my story sometimes. Yeah. And people would respond, and then I would respond back, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe, I'm like, I'm just some normal guy, bro. Like, I promise you, I'm probably underwhelming if you meet me. It's not that, like, I'm not, I mean, obviously you never know, because some people, some of them are not nice. They're not nice people, but you don't know that until you try. So I think it's very good to just kind of, and like I said, I admire your confidence and like your grind. So it's like, you never want to roll with your assumptions too much, because once you do, you kind of put yourself at a disadvantage, because you never know. I mean, we always say the worst they can say is no. That's true. I mean, they might say something even worse than that.
They might,
but it's like, but it's like, they already said no. And besides, why would you want to be close to someone who would treat someone they don't know like that? If they're having a bad day, sure, like, understandable, but it's also like, you wouldn't want to be associated with someone who kind of doesn't dismisses someone just because they don't know them or where it is. So I'll say just go for it. Just shoot your shot. Or what. I mean, like, I don't know, romantically, I don't know if you want to do that, but we're talking about like
Yeah.
people you admire and that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
This is most definitely. Now, you see, David, this is something that we do on the channel quite a lot. And it's become kind of like a tradition in this channel.
All right.
We have one question.
Okay.
And this question, for context, this question has either been a very smooth conversation, deep introspective conversation,
All right.
or what happens is the person just like, how do I answer this question?
I feel like you're scaring me. I don't.
Nah. It's not a difficult question. I'm just, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so
building up.
the question is, who is David?
Okay. Golly, man. So I was asked this question in a class, like during the first week.
Really?
Normally you do kind of like introductions.
Yeah.
So this class was it is a class about prototyping. So making like user interfaces, physical prototypes, stuff like that. And the question was describe yourself in 6 words. And it can't be like generic, like computer engineer. Like it can't just be like descriptions, like one word. It has to be like a sentence. And so I'm kind of cheating, but I picked athletic poet who loves technology, and I said that, but then I realized later on that I didn't add Jesus, like technology and Jesus, and I was like, I feel like there's something there that I'm not like. I don't know why I did that. Was it because I was scared to say, which is definitely not me. I don't care who I am, like who I'm with or where I am. I'm always gonna kind of proclaim Jesus if I need to. I'm not just gonna be saying, oh Jesus, but I wouldn't be ashamed to say that. But a part of me was wondering, is it because of I didn't even think they would care about that, so why didn't I say that? So if I was to describe myself, I would definitely say like a poetic athlete, like because I'm into fitness, I'm into poetry, kind of drama, all that stuff, and I also do love technology, but I love Jesus most of all because I realize that my life that's the foundation is built on, like that's the most important thing. And even my page that what I create is to serve other people. Like I'm not even getting paid to do this, man.
Bro.
like no one's giving me money. And people think like, oh, look at the followers you have. Like, how much money? I'm like, zero money. First of all, if I was making money, the IRS would be knocking on my door because I'm an international student. You can't be, there's some, I guess, a gray area. So, you want to be careful.
Yeah.
But I think who I am mostly is, I think I'm meant to be a servant in that way, to use the gifts that God has given me to serve people and just be kind to them. And it's been like a journey because when you come to uni, especially, like certain things happen that can, put you on a crossroads. It's like either you become jaded, pessimistic, basically just not a good person, or you can choose to kind of move past that, whatever hurt that you have, and choose to say, okay, I'm just going to improve from here. And obviously, you kind of oscillate between the two once in a while. But sometimes I've been, like, depending on who you ask in the past, I've been a very different person to them. So who is David? Yes, someone who just loves poetry. And just being able to express complex emotions or ideas in just like a few words to other people so that they can understand it especially using analogies, right? So I think I'm someone who can bridge the gap between understanding and execution, because sometimes when you don't understand what's going on and you're not self-aware, you can't really do anything about it. Like you don't, if you don't know what you don't know, you don't, like, you just don't know, like, what I'm saying, like, you're blind to what you're blind to. So until someone kind of connects the dots and helps you do that, you just won't see that. So I think I'm just trying to serve people, really. I think that's the most important thing. But if there's any deeper underlying, I don't know what I have for you, but that's all I have right now.
Straight, bro.
Was that satisfactory? What would you rate
Bro,
that?
it's more than satisfactory.
Okay,
more than satisfactory, bro. You brought us into everything, and you said a lot of things that I really want to go into.
Okay.
And beginning with the work that you're doing right now, in terms of the impact that you are doing, the impact that you're having in people's lives. Bro, Valiant poets. First of all, at what points did you realize that was what you wanted to do?
That's a good question. So when I came to Drexel, it was 2018. I was doing my undergrad. It was even kind of it wasn't funny, but it was very, you can tell God had his hand in the whole thing. Like, because I did my SATs on my first try. I forgot the score I had, but it was like 1,300 and something. And, I was like, okay, decent score for the first time. I was like, the second time, 1,600, easy. I did it the second time. I didn't even worse. I was like,
what's going on?
Am I stupid? Like, what's, like, I've done this once. I thought the second time for sure. But so because I didn't get a better score, it changed the kind of schools I applied to, right? And Drexel was among those schools I applied to.
Okay.
And when that happened, I was like, okay. For some reason, I felt so kind of close like Drexel felt familiar. I'd never heard of the school before,
Really?
and a lot of people say, oh, because of the co-op. I had no idea what the co-op even was. Like I got in one class, Univ, and Univ is like a class that introduces you to basically the school's rules and a bunch of stuff like how to use the systems, and you know the professor asked the question like, oh, so why did everyone come to Drexel? And everyone kind of raised their hand and said co-op, and then it came to me. I was like, yeah, I just felt really familiar with the school, you know. And they were looking at me like I was some hippie. I was like, no, I promise. Like, I didn't want to get like too spiritual. I was just like, yeah, you know, I just kind of felt familiar. And she was like, oh, okay, and we just moved on. Yeah. So even coming to Drexel was already a strange thing in general. So I knew that there was something that kind of God wanted me to do here. No, maybe not specifically like online stuff, but I already knew that there was something there. And before I had come to Drexel, I was in Roman Ridge in Accra.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember Ridge boy.
Yeah, well, hold on. Only for 2 years. Let's relax. No offense to anyone who goes to Roman Ridge. To be honest, I don't even care. But I was in Kumasi before that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was in Kumasi basically my whole life, and then moved to Accra like 2016. So from 2016 to 2018, that's when I was in Roman Ridge. And during my A levels, I was doing I think IT, math, and physics. And in the IT, in IT, basically Cambridge had changed the syllabus. So now it wasn't just like a normal like, oh, Microsoft Word doing, you know, all the now we were doing like programming, we were doing Photoshop, we would like a bunch of stuff, just learning a bunch of different softwares. And I was like, oh, I kind of like using this like Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects. I'm interested in it. So you would never know, like, but I had never used it before, but because of a school's curriculum change, now all of a sudden I'm doing things I never thought I'd do. I was so kind of annoyed. I was like, why are we learning how to do now, if you ask me like 6 years like later, I was like, please, thank God we did this, because I would have never known. Yeah. So once I started being good at things that I never really thought about before, I was like, there's something here. And people kept telling me, oh, David, I feel like you should make like a YouTube. You know, when people tell you, make a YouTube, make a TikTok, make it this.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. Like, it's nice. But it's like, no, there's something here. So I think, number one, when people kept telling me that, oh, you should do this, because I would have conversations with them. It's like, and I would notice that I would just be talking a lot about like something that was in my head, and I'd be going like 15 different tangents. I'm like, clearly my mind, not like because I'm better than anyone, but my mind just seems to work in a very different way. Yeah. So I started to think about that a bit more, and during that time I started writing poetry, and I would always write poetry and it was mostly kind of like sad, it's like melancholic, like not like depressed, but just very Ecclesiastes. Like it's all vanity. Like what's the point? Yeah. And I wasn't that down, but it was very like introspective or just very romantic. Like I'm sort of like a hopeless romantic in that way. I don't know why I said that now. I forgot.
Yo, ladies,
hey, please relax, stand back. But yeah, no. So that kind of reflected in my writing. And then I started writing scripts for like scenarios and like stories. And then once that happened, I was still also learning how to use different softwares. Then I started using Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. And then I was like, okay. And then Premiere Pro as well. So I started making like birthday videos for people.
Oh, right? Wow.
Just like very basic, like put a song over it. But people appreciated it because they don't know how to do it. So, because I knew how to do it, I was like, okay, I can't buy this person a gift. Because I don't have money. So I wasn't making my own money, so I couldn't. So I was like, okay, how can I show these people that I care about them? And I would just get a bunch of pictures and I actually made my like Roman Ridge, like my graduating class. I made our video. Now it was kind of long, so they cut it. They turned it off around like this, like when it was 75% done. But I like some people were like crying, like because of all the memories. And I had only been in the school for 2 years, so like I wasn't really a part of everything. But because of what I had, I was like, okay, what can I make with this? So things going further back then, before I was even there, I was like putting it in the video, and then I saw some people crying. I was like, oh, first of all, but second, I was like, there's something here. Like these people don't they don't know me that well, but clearly I did something that was able to capture their emotions and kind of like. Obviously it was an emotional day already, so I had kind of like a head start. But still, like, no one's crying at graduation. Like, I don't, and these were dudes too, like guys.
Oh wow!
Like it wasn't. I
thought it was the ladies.
No. And hey, guys, if you want to cry,
it's okay.
No, it's not okay. Please don't cry. I'm kidding. But yeah, no. So and I was like, okay, there's something here. So again, if you think about all of that, it kind of all comes together, and it makes you think I can do something with this. So from making birthday videos, I started making like little graphics. I would read a Bible verse or something in the week that kind of inspired me, and then I would make a graphic. So that page I called that Without Relent. Basically, I wanted to make it relentless, but the name was taken. So I was like, okay, relentless just means without relent. So without.relent. And I started making graphics out of that. And first it was just still images, right? Like, it wasn't basic, but I'll take text. I'll get kind of an image that matches that. I'll composite it, which is basically combining multiple images to make one image. It's a lot of nerdy stuff. But so when I did that, I did that for a while. And then I started animating those graphics.
Okay.
And I started adding music to it. So like more of me. And I love music, by the way. Like, that's why you see me with headphones on. I came here with headphones, actually. It's probably not good because there's too much stimulation. Because one day I took my headphones off and because they were low battery, and I was losing my mind. I was like, oh no, I have to be with my own thoughts. I don't like this because I think a lot already. So I was like, you put on the music, it kind of just calms you down a bit. But yeah. So then all of these things kind of come together, and gradually as I was actually trying to improve, it just kept going further and further down the path where I was like, oh, I should just start making videos. And then I started filming myself. Then at that time I was going to the gym, right? So I was like, oh, okay. And I saw these like inspirational videos of, people working hard in the gym, and there's some like epic music and some guy with the deepest voice you've ever heard in your life. Yeah. And I'm like, where are they getting these audios from? So I sat down, went to YouTube, scoured, like I was like sitting there for like 2 hours just looking for stuff, and I found so many different websites, and I learned how to like extract audios. Like basically I became very resourceful, Was there piracy involved? We'll never know.
It's a great area.
I don't know why I'm saying this on the podcast.
No, don't worry, man. It's we understand.
No, you get it.
I get it.
So yeah, I was kind of just taking all these tidbits from different places. I was like, I can really do this, and then I got lazy, right? And I never really I didn't take it to the distance that I knew I could. And a year later, and this makes me sad to this day, the thing that I was gonna do, people started doing that and posting on Instagram, and I was like, oh God,
bro,
this could have been me,
bro.
And I'm not saying I was the only one that had the idea, right,
bro?
But at the time I had the idea, if I started doing it, it may have started something. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, like one of the very first guys to do that thing, like we're now like friends. Like and I never thought that day would come. But let me get back to like why I started doing this. We can talk about that later. But yeah, from that point onwards, when I realized when I had that, I don't know how that regret, it was so much regret. And I was like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Because God, I don't want to say if you can't do it, God will find someone else. But kind of.
That's
it's like if he's giving you the idea and you didn't do it, what do you think is going to happen? Like you think about the parable of the talents, right? Yeah. When the king came and, the guy he gave 10 talents to, 5 talents, they had kind of doubled it or done something with it. And the guy who had one, when he buried it, he said, take that guy's one, give it to this guy. I said, hey. He didn't even say give it to the second guy. He said give it to the first guy who had the most. I was like, clearly, if you're not ready to do this thing, like just like stand aside, because God doesn't need us, right? But it's like if he's giving you the idea and he's giving you the skills, it's like clearly you have to appreciate that and show your appreciation by actually taking action. So yeah, all these things happen. It was a mixture of regret, hearing other people tell me, hey, you should probably do this, you should probably do this, and me developing the skills even way before this period of my life. And then it all kind of amalgamated, and I was like, okay, I should probably start making videos. So I started doing the whole gym stuff, and then one day I just recorded a video of me talking to the camera, and then it just kind of went from there. But for the first year, I'll tell you this, I was doing it, and I reached like 500 followers in the first 12 months of doing this. Now, let me be clear with you. I was doing this for I did it for 60 days straight, and I got like 300 followers. This was including the people that followed me. Now, on my personal page, I had 500 followers. Wow. So obviously, the people that knew me, like, brother, we don't really care about what you do. So I was like, okay, it sucks. But to be honest, not everything that all my friends are doing that I'm like paying attention to. Yeah. Because it's like, these people. And we know the saying, familiarity breeds contempt. Like, oh yeah, that's just my friend. Yeah. Even Jesus. Oh, nothing good comes out of Nazareth. That's the Messiah of the world, bro. But it's like when people kind of put you on the side, it's like, yeah, that's just my friend. I see him every day. Okay, he's making a page,
That's cool.
I believe in yeah. It's not that they hate me. It's just like So all of that, and then after that first year, I started being like very aggressive. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna post wherever I want. I just start posting and actually I'll stop assuming that I know what's gonna do well, and then just start talking. And then from then on, that's when I started gaining A bit of traction. Yeah.
Bro,
yeah,
if
a lot of
you
traction.
see his page right now, bro, it's popping. It's popping. It's very much so.
Yeah.
So, from all of the videos that you have done,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think has been your favorite one?
That's wow. That's a like on YouTube or on Instagram or Instagram specifically.
Let's do Instagram and then let's do YouTube
Okay.
as well.
So Instagram, man, it's hard to pick. But I had this series called Lessons from the Forge,
Okay.
where I detailed, and it's like in the archives. So people who follow me now don't even know that exists.
Oh,
So I'm very proud of my new videos. But that series, bro, you can tell I was hungry. Like you can tell, like man, I wanted this. Like, like what this guy's grinding, bro. Hey, like people would see me, like in one day. You would see me. Let's say you saw me walking around Race, right?
Yeah.
Race Hall, which is the building he lives in, by the way. And then, sorry, just giving away your location. If you heard, I was just joking. I don't.
Yeah, you're
just
not
scrap
there.
that.
Yeah,
We'll
not there.
edit that out.
Somewhere
We'll edit
else.
that out.
Somewhere else.
But yeah, let's just say you see me somewhere, right, on campus, and then let's say you go to your class.
Yeah.
2 hours later, you go. Let's say you're going home. You see me wherever you are as well, and you're like, "What's this guy do?" And you see me with a tripod and my phone, and you see me wearing like a, you know what a weighted vest is like.
Yeah.
I was wearing a weighted vest. It's like, what is he recording? What? And then I would run to the art museum. I was all over the place because I had shots in mind that I had to get. So you could tell I was hungry, right? So I think that whole series was my favorite because it was me detailing lessons I learned while losing weight. So I was 270 pounds before, which is, I think, 130 something kg.
Wow.
And then right now I'm 182 pounds. So do the math. I don't know, 118 kilograms or something. And during that period, bro, you learn so many lessons, right? Like, and it applies to like all parts of your life. And I call it Lessons from the Forge because I think life is like that. It's like we are like material being hammered. Like, 'cause some days you feel like, hey, Charlie, like this hurts. Like I don't like this feeling. But until you go through that, you don't understand resilience. You don't understand discipline. You don't understand the need for a lot of things. So I called it Lessons from the Forge because life feels like a forge because it's hard. It feels like there's a lot of heat and pressure, but then there's a finished product that comes out and it's a refined product. So yeah, I think that's my favorite like series of videos. But if I was to pick one, there's a video called it's called Imagine, where basically I think it's the most views I've ever gotten. And I was basically giving an analogy for negative self-talk. And I said negative self-talk is like finally buying your dream house. Basically like, you know, this setup, right? Imagine you finished it fresh. So you hear a knock on the door and you're like, who is that, right? And then it's this guy, basically, you know, Jason Voorhees, like, you know, these like Halloween, you know, those kind of guys that like chase you around. Like it's like a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
You see him muddy boots, like just, he looks disgusting. You wouldn't trust this person. But for some reason, you just let the person in. Like you open the door to your dream house, your dream setup, and everything is white, everything is clean. But negative self-talk is like inviting that person into your house and just say, just sit down. Oh yeah. So because it's like, it doesn't make sense. This is a clean space. It's a place that you want to preserve, but then you've allowed dirt and muck and disgust into that place. And the person has a mask on. You open the mask, you kind of take off the mask and it's yourself because you're the person who's kind of like doing that. So I made that video. I didn't think it was that crazy, bro. It just started going. And I was like, I woke up 10K views. I'd never gotten 10K views. Bro. Next day, 30K, 40K. I was like, why is this? What is this? Like, I didn't know how to handle it. Like, I would just be around campus smiling like a dummy. I was like, hey, how are you doing, man? Like,
Bro,
it's a great day, right? This guy just failed his final. I'm just like, bro, like, and he's like, bro, yeah, I was like, oh no, I'll just walk away. I was like, bro, I'm so happy right now. I'm sorry, but I can't not be. So yeah, things just started going from there. So I say that is my favorite video because it just resonated with people and it showed me that the things that I think are mundane and the things that I think are like, no one really cares. You post that and like it hits someone and it impacts someone. You're like, oh, okay. Bro. And I realized this is what I'm meant to do. Actually serve people and stop thinking about like, oh, I don't think this is a good video. It's like, bro, just if the message is sound and biblically kind of like it's coherent and aligns with the Bible, just post it. It doesn't really matter what people will think or how many views it gets. It's going to impact someone. So, yeah.
Bro, do you know what's so crazy? The same thing you just said right now happened to me last week.
Yeah.
Bro, when I tell you that it was the most, like, it was just the most, I didn't even expect
was
it
when
at
you
all.
went to that conference?
It wasn't the next week conference. It was a video that I did in Ghana. With this girl. Her name is Sadia Mahama. I did with her, but shout out to Sadia, bro. Yeah, bro. It was a fire podcast.
Yeah.
And it was just there, bro. I had recorded the podcast like probably like a month ago, 2 months ago, and I just went online because I needed clips to just post. I just went on the video, just went to look for some one clip the thing, just put it there.
Yeah.
It was me quoting Myron Golden, saying that right when you rationalize, you tell yourself rationalize.
Yeah.
I was just saying
That's
the thing.
fine.
I was like, that's what I was like, yo,
That's
Charlie, let me. I said the thing of everything, bro. I was just put
Yeah.
the thing there, and I put it on TikTok, and I just left it there because normally on TikTok I can get like maybe 1,000 views on the video, and I just leave it like that. Then I'm just there. Like, let's say like a week had passed, a week and a half. I'm coming to post another video. Actually, no, I woke up that morning. I was just on TikTok. Then I said, let me go to my homepage and see what's going on. I opened the thing, 40K. I'm like, where did that come from?
That's mad, bro.
I called Nana Kwesi. I was like, yo, bro, 40K, bro, look. And then this guy, people that I was looking up to, like in Ghana, like they had commented on the video.
Oh,
I was like, bro, what do you mean, bro?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. What? I screenshotted the thing. I put it everywhere. I'm like, yo, Charlie, guys, we are doing this. Bro, yeah. When you said that, I was just like, nah. I felt that, bro.
It's moments like that. Like, I don't know if you ever feel this, but like days where you kind of feel like, is this even worth it? Like,
bro,
like, not even is it, but like you kind of feel discouraged.
Yeah.
And then something like that happens. You're like,
nah,
bro,
yeah.
this is like I'm doing this. Like God, like clearly God, there's something here for me. I can see the potential, and I call those things like checkpoints. Like when you're running a marathon, something. Like, I've never run like a marathon, but just watching the videos and seeing people, like at certain mileage, you're just like, why am I doing this? Like why am I wearing? No one is running 23 miles. Like, what normal person is doing this?
Yeah.
But then you keep going, you're like, and then maybe you get some water and you're like, okay, now I feel refreshed. I want to go again. And I think things like that, God puts it like in, and you're like, oh, this is mad. Because why that video of Orbit? Why that video? Why didn't you look at the like your homepage like all that time, and a week later you looked at it and you're like, and why, like the fact that you even saw that Myron Golden like quote and then you quoted it, it's just like, it can't just be a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool, man.
Very, very true. That's
cool.
even what I was telling Nana Kwesi that this is like, I feel like how God is. God is a very funny, very, very funny person. He will literally, like, you can be doing like working, and just when you feel like you're about to stop, that's when you sprinkle this thing and just be like, keep going, bro, bro. You're almost there. Just keep going.
Like
keep
cheering
pushing.
you on. Yeah,
That's how it feels like. I'm just like, I get you, man. I get you. I see what it is. It's so funny. After that video, I had all the vim in the world. I started editing videos. Bro, I edited 3 videos one day. I put the first video there. 2 days later, I put another video there. But when I tell you to this day, none of them have past 1,000 views.
It's not even hitting the previous milestone.
Bro, it's not even hitting like the. I'm like, yo, what's going on, bro?
Am I a failure? What's going
on? Bro,
on?
I like the algorithm, bro. Stop. Yo, if you're not seeing my videos, go ahead.
Please, let's get to 1K at least. 1K.
Let's at least meet the 1K, bro. I'm just like, nah, bro. This is how it is, bro. Okay, cool. Maybe I just need to take a little break and then come back again. I'm just like, okay, wait, hold on. Maybe this is God. It's God. Let me just stay in it.
Because clearly there's something there, right? Yeah. Like, and that I relate to that thing where you're doing decently. You're kind of progressing, but maybe not as much as you want to. I think I think when you start something, you kind of want to go something to go viral. It's like, this is the one. It's never really the one, And the ones that you don't expect to be the one,
they are the ones.
Boom. I'm saying,
Why?
Why? Why not this? And then after that, you're like, oh yeah, okay. So after this, every video at least 10K at least. And now it's not even hitting the previous
lies.
So after that video that hit like that, those crazy numbers, I kept posting. Nothing was really hitting the same. I said, and I had to, and let me get serious a bit, but like I had to switch gears. I was like, okay, clearly the metric for every video can't be virality. Like it cannot be virality. So then I started seeing more and more people comment. Like the same people kept commenting on all the videos. I was like, oh, okay, I have something here, which is a community. Like people who actually care about what I'm saying, because a lot of these pages, they get views. Like people watch the videos, but they don't really care about the people. So it's like, okay, if I was to grow an audience, let's say 50K, like 100K, would I want people that care about me or people that just kind of come for what I'm saying and just kind of leave? Like either way, to be honest, as long as they're served, I don't really mind. But ideally, like as a person, I would want the person to care about me. Because guess what? When you come up with, let's say, an Empower like merch line, right? Or even your book, or you write another book, you kind of want people, like you want people to patronize what you're doing, like, because, and not just because it's like a transactional relationship, but because they actually care about Tristan. They actually want to hear what you have to say, and you kind of want that. And I had to change how I saw success in that moment. I was like, if I don't change it, I'm gonna quit, because and it took so long for another video to do like as well, and the video never really did as well as that first video. And to this day, nothing has really done like nothing has hit that, bro. Like, and I don't want to say this without sounding like that video hit like I think 800K like views on Instagram, and I was scrolling through my page like last night because I hadn't posted in a long time because right now my camera is like messed up. Basically, a lot of reasons why, validating why I'm not creating, but it's like, okay, I was like, I'm just gonna keep making excuses, whether valid or invalid. It's still an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm actually gonna do something about it. So after looking through and I saw that video, I was like, there's something here. Like I can't not post because I don't have a camera, bro. Use your phone. Find some old footage, like, and that's why when I watch your stories, and I'm like, this guy is always like doing something. Because when I go on here, you were like complimenting. I was like, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? Like, I felt very uncomfortable. So now I have to compliment because I don't know if you guys see his stuff, like, but you like posting like stories, like going to conferences, like even just like taking pictures with people, very confident, very just like I have a goal, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna pretend like I'm best friends with Tristan, but like just seeing him from afar, I'm just like, this guy is gonna do something. Like, and he is doing something. So, I mean, 40K views, got that 1K, the video that hit 1K. Yeah, I'm not stalking you, but I see stuff. I'm sorry, you're actually my inspiration. I'm just kidding. But no, serious. It's very inspiring. It's very inspiring. And this is definitely what you're doing. Like, even if you're not trying to do it like intentionally, just seeing how you do your things, it's like I feel empowered to do what I need to do as well. Because if someone who kind of sees you, imagine someone came up to you and was like, bro, I'm so inspired by you, and they start like you let's say you start following each other, you start talking to each other, and you see them do things that you've never done, and they're like really, really pushing, and you kind of like you've gotten complacent a bit. You're like, this guy, he's pushing me to do better, and that's kind of what it is, and you have no idea, like you have no idea what you're doing. So it's like you never know who's watching. Not just who's going to give you an opportunity, but who's being inspired by what you're doing. Like sometimes I'll post like a silly little story and I'll talk about my own thing. And even like on my personal page, I'll like post something talking about what I think. And I'm like, no, bro, no one cares. Like people. But then someone will respond. I'm like, yo, bro, I never thought about this. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just not wasting my time. There's something here. So again, it's always like, you never want to assume that no one cares what you have to say, because someone out there's almost 9 billion people on this planet. We have the internet, something that can reach imagine seeing 40,000 people.
Bro, that's what I keep thinking. Like, bro, you see, like, I'm talking like, 500, not anything, 1,000. What if you put 1,000 people here? That's a lot of people.
And you tell me to do the same. Like, if we had to film this podcast live in front of like 1,000 people, it would definitely, the dynamic would be a bit different. Like, I wouldn't be like just this confidence. I wouldn't say half of the things that I've said today. Like, so I can say more insane things, but with 1,000 people, I'm like, oh yeah, God is good. Everything is good. I would be very PC. But if it's just me and you, I'm just like, Charlie, just let it,
that makes so much sense, bro. Nah.
But I like that, the perspective shift. You have to see it that way. That 500 people is still a lot of people.
It's still a lot.
And that's why I had to kind of change my mindset too. When I said I only got 500 followers after a year, I was like, it's still, I mean, only in the grand scheme of things. But realistically, I was like, if I was to speak to one of these people every day, more than a year, I would have someone to talk to. Bro. And some people don't even have one person to speak to. And you're getting 500 views and you're saying, it's just not that. But and I think that's what being comfortable with something does. It's like when I'm comfortable with a certain amount of views or a certain metric, it becomes my normal. Yeah. And once you go past that normal, that becomes your normal. And once you go past that, it's always like a cycle, like a vicious cycle. And I think that's why the Bible says the love of money is like the root of all evil. Because like if you love money, like not just money is the root of all evil, please don't misquote the Bible verse. It says the love of money. So if you're chasing after that thing constantly, hoping that it will love you back or it'll bring you fulfillment, because there's always more money to be made. Like at what point you say, okay, that's enough money? I don't think there's ever a point when you're like, that's enough money. Yeah, like even these millionaires are like, okay, billionaire next. Yeah. Okay, hundreds of billions next. Like people will just keep going. Right. Yeah. And there's always going to be competition. So that's just like that with everything. Now, it's a good, it's something that keeps you going, right? I think we all need that. People who want to achieve something, you always have to think, okay, what's next? But if that's the only thing that kind of fulfills you, it's kind of like, okay, I'll never be grateful for what I truly have. So I think it's like having a balance of those two things where it's like, okay, I have 500 followers right now. That's great. I want more, but I'm going to cater to the people that I have right now. Exactly. And figure out how to get more, like, as time goes on. Yeah.
I think me, it's like, sometimes I really do make that kind of mistake where it's like I overlook the followers. I overlook how many people have come to me, or I overlook the messages that I get and all these type of things, because it's like, if I was to see you in person and have that conversation, I think it's because it's virtual and it's happening online, so it kind of like
you're detached from
you don't really feel that number.
Yeah.
But like when you really just sit down and you really process it and you see like how many people are seeing you, how many people know your face, how many people listen to you.
Yeah.
Bro, there's people, I'm sure you've gone through, someone can come up to you and just be like, yo, bro, I saw this video and
bro.
I love the thing, bro. Like that thing did. And I'm just there
I was like, did someone pay you to say this?
I'm like, yo, bro, wait, hold on. Me?
Me? And I think you need to keep that, because that's what keeps you humble.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like pretend that you're nobody, because at some point you're like, okay, if you had like 100K followers, you couldn't walk around being like, oh, I'm just some normal guy. I mean, you are.
Yeah.
But you're also not a normal
But you
guy,
know
right?
that some people, they know you.
Yeah. Like, you know, a lot of people know you. And even you saying that, like, that many people have seen my face. I'm just like, that's insane. Like that's crazy. Like, that's not normal. So yeah. So when you say that, like, what do you do then to mitigate the like effect of being detached? Like, is there anything that you do to remind yourself that or does it kind of just happen where someone walks up to you and it reminds you again?
Do you know something that I really want to encourage everyone who is even thinking about it, who doesn't do it? Journal. Bro. And I tell you, I have 3 different journals, bro. I have a dream journal where I write down my goals, and if I'm thinking of an idea, I'll write it down in that. Thoughts. That's why I just write like anything that's going on in my mind, anything like that.
Currently, like present, okay.
Things like that. And then there's like wisdom journal. I write like things I've learned, like whether it's like from books or reading the Bible, or like from a conversation. I write those things down. And in my notes where I'm writing my thoughts and things, most of them are just like, bro, the things that are happening right now, if I don't document it, and if I don't continually remind myself of like what has happened and the people that have been impacted and God's grace and his love for me, bro, if I don't remind myself of those things, you tend to like just be like, oh, it's normal, like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool, like, yeah, okay, you see my video, okay, you've been impacted, okay, but no, that's not it. And so it's like, bro, even the Nesby one where this girl, she came out to me, shout out to Amak, she didn't like to show her face, bro, shout out to you. She came out to me and she was like, bro, I've seen your video. I saw you on some point. I was like, yo, bro, I don't even know you, bro. I was like, yo, that's so crazy.
Which is, again, also, let's not underestimate. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Like, how many miles is Ghana away from this place? And
bro,
like, how long ago did you record that podcast?
Bro,
that she
this
saw?
was like 4 months ago, bro. Like 3 months, 4 months ago.
That's crazy. And then she just happened to see. You just happened to go.
At the Nesby con, and she just bro. I was just like, yo, that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. It is wild.
Crazy.
Did you like write that like in the journal?
Bro, I even gave her a free elevator book. Bro. I dashed it to her. I said, nah, Charlie,
you have to take this.
You have to go, bro. That's
did you autograph it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, of course. Very good. Very good.
Took picture, everything. The picture I haven't posted it though because she doesn't like this thing. But
blur her face.
Okay.
Hey, please. You have to get consent all the time, please. I beg.
Yes. But me, I was just like, bro, that's actually so wild. Like that whole night, I was just like, yeah, bro, I ain't gonna cap, bro. Somebody from New Jersey was like, yo.
But it's good. It's good to have that feeling, though, because it's another reminder, right? And you sort of want those things to, at least for me, I don't want those things to be too close together. Because if it's happening every other day or every day, it's kind of like, you know, like you get it becomes normal. But if you're kind of deprived of it for a minute, and then you get it again, okay, yeah.
Bro, you appreciate
and I think that's what
like
fasting does. It's like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, not eat or not fast from social media or whatever it is. So when you come back to that thing that you've been sort of away from, you're like, oh wow, like this is you enjoy it more. It's more fulfilling. It's more enjoyable versus like if I'm scrolling reels or TikTok every day, just like your brain is just overloaded, right? Yeah. So like the next day you can do the same thing. But if you stay away from it for like a while, and you kind of enjoy nature, enjoy life a bit, and then you come back to it, you're like, oh, okay, this is nice. Now you have to make sure you don't, get sucked back into that hole. But I think it's like kind of moving, and even especially with people too, I would say, because it's hard to, because we're like, do you go around every day saying I appreciate you like to your friends? No. It's not something. Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah. Low key, I won't lie to you. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little.
If my guy, it's a bit free. It's like, hey, bro, I appreciate you.
Yeah, but like.
Hey Charlie,
relax. Like, hold on, bro.
I can't lie to you. I did that to I did that to one of my friends once, and he thought like I was gonna end up like doing something. I was like, no. I'm just showing my appreciation to you. I'm not like gonna hurt myself. And he was like, okay, I just checking. I was like, oh, look, Charlie, we don't even appreciate each other. But I think it's something I want to do more. Just like reach out to people and not even like be weird or like say, I really love you, I really care about you, but more like, hey, this thing that you do, I think is cool. Like keep doing it. Yeah. I just appreciate something that they do,
bro.
Because I think we all need that.
Yeah.
Hey, Tristan, this podcast, really cool thing. Keep doing it. Like, don't like stop. And we're not. Maybe we're not gonna be best friends. We don't have to be best friends. I'm not trying to be best friend. Like, to be honest, it's exhausting to be to be close to multiple people, bro.
Yeah.
Because if they're in emotional distress, they come to you. And hey, listen, I love people. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes, man,
Bro needs a break.
I do not have the emotional capacity to handle any of this.
We don't have the capacity.
We don't have it. I don't have the facilities. I don't have anything. Please, I beg you. And I can't. Again, because you love people. Because you know, because I know that I'll be okay. Like I can recover. Right. I can pray and say, God, please, I beg. Just just refill me. I beg. But in the moment, I'm just like, I can't help you. Like I can't, because some people generally want help, and I want to help.
Yeah.
I'm just like, emotionally, I'm just not there. But it's I take advantage of the days where I remember someone. I'm like, oh, let me text this person and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. Keep doing this thing. Boom, done. And then kind of just move on with your day. But yeah, I don't know how we got here, but just appreciating people a bit more.
Definitely. I even want to get your I don't know whether you want to say thoughts or opinions, but for people who are thinking of starting, let's say, a channel or starting a podcast. Actually, I've had a few people come to me and be like, yo, they're thinking of starting a podcast. They want to start a podcast. What are the equipment that they need to buy? And I'm just like, bro, just use your phone, bro. Bro. Just use your phone, bro. The first videos that I did was literally just with my iPad, bro.
Yeah.
Front-facing camera, everything, bro, straight. And I just want to know, what would you say to the people who are looking at what you do, looking at what I do, and asking themselves, maybe I could do something like that. Maybe. What would you tell them?
Yeah. So I have this theory, right? It's completely like, it's not refined or anything, but it makes sense to me. And it's the difference between like a desire and a want. Like, you know, when someone says, oh, I want that bottle of water. I think it's more like, yeah, I want that thing like right now. But I think a desire is more like an underlying sort of like wanting to be married is, I think, a desire for love or a desire to express love.
Okay.
Right? So when you want to do this, like, you have to ask yourself, okay, why do I want to do this? If you have no good reason for doing this, you won't ever really do it. So nothing I say or he says can actually change that. Like, you might do some 1, 2, 1, 2 here and there, but like, you won't keep going, right? So I think you have to ask yourself, why is it that I want to do this? Is it because I want views? Okay. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. So I would say you have to analyze your views first. Like, why do I want to do this thing in the first place? And whether you figure that out in a moment or not, I would just say do it anyways, right? Just do it. Because I can give you like a 50-step strategy. If you don't follow that strategy, it's not like nothing is like, it's not going to work for you. So I would say just start doing the thing without thinking too much about the thing. I won't lie to you, when you asked me to do this, I was thinking about 50 different things. I was like, oh, I have to be dressed this way. My haircut has to be this. Right now, I could look clapped. I could look, I don't even care. I'm just like, you know what? I care how I look, of course. But again, if the goal is to serve, if the goal is to be of help or service, sure, I can care how I look, but that can't be a barrier to what I'm doing. So you have to ask yourself, how badly do you want to do the thing that you want to do, right? Or you're claiming you want to do. If I wanted to, all the videos that I want to make, right? Me saying my camera is this, I can use my phone. When I started, I was using my phone. It was and don't roast me for this. If I see you in the comments saying anything, I use an Android, right? It was called a OnePlus 6.
You use OnePlus, bro. I have OnePlus 7 Pro. My guy.
Yeah, I was using a OnePlus 6, and I was using the front-facing camera for some videos, and the back-facing.
Bro,
I was like, and then people, like, no one kind of knows, or no one even cares how you start, because no one has, like, bro, about 90% of my followers have not seen those videos. They'll never see. No one will ever see your backlog, your archives. I kind of think of whatever you want to do as a discography. Your first few songs, maybe you enjoy it, you love it. But it doesn't mean that everyone else is gonna listen to it. You have, maybe your mother is gonna say, "Oh, honey, that was such a great song. Oh, please make more. Kwame, make another one. Yo, make." There will be people who support you, and I think that's what you need to know. That not everyone is gonna jump on the bandwagon, and not everyone is gonna be enthusiastic about what you want to do. So I would say, when you want to start, just start. Like, there's really no special advice I'm gonna give you, right? Just start the thing that you want to do with whatever you have. Because if you don't start the thing with what you have now, what makes you think that when you get that $8,000 camera, to be honest, where would you even find that? Like, like where are you finding the money to? I'll be very suspicious if you just like start buy. Like, if you buy all the, because I know people online who've mentioned that, oh, they started and they bought all this gear, but they ended up just using their phone because they realized that it was a hassle to set up all these different things. And now I respect your setup, right? And you're
Bro,
doing
it is.
right?
It is a hassle.
Yeah,
It is.
So the more you kind of, if your idea of starting has a lot of barriers to entry and has a lot of setup involved, you're less likely to do the thing. If I ask you, oh, David, what's your workout plan? And I'm just asking you what your workout plan is. I have no desire to actually work out. I'm just wasting my time. Like I'm feeding myself information that I'm gonna, my own mind, my own flesh is gonna end up using as a weapon against me. Like when you learn how to do podcasts or whatever, like you watch videos, right? Because when you want to do something, you learn about it.
Yeah.
You keep learning about it. And now when you're not doing the thing, your brain is like, hey, so you've learned this, you're not doing this. What are you even doing? Like it kind of is condemning you. Like the devil has ammo now to condemn you. So every piece of information you gather about the thing that you want to do, when you don't end up doing that thing, your flesh, the devil is going to use it as a weapon against you. And if you don't want that, because you already have enough problems. Like, I mean, at least I already have enough issues. I don't want to keep feeding that part of me that's like, hey, you suck. You actually not that good. So then the only way to eliminate that is to actually do the thing. And I think one more thing I'll say on this is we all have a lot of assumptions about how everything is supposed to be, right? Like you have assumptions about, even before, can I mention before starting, we were talking about, I was asking why he didn't have a camera, a dedicated camera. He was talking about the course. I was like, oh, you can get this. And he didn't know about that option. So it's like, we all have assumptions that we carry. And if we don't resolve those assumptions, we'll just keep carrying on, maybe doing the least effective thing. Now, guess what? He's still doing the thing, right? Like he's still doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of whether you have the best option right now or not, obviously you work to kind of get that thing done. But as long as you're doing the thing, you will figure it out. Like if you weren't doing this, you would have never figured out what I just told you. Like, and if you weren't watching this right now, maybe you won't figure out a lot of the things that you want to figure out. So I think it's just up to one, figure out what your motives are. Really ask yourself, be honest. Listen, if you just want money, just say you want money. Don't pretend, like don't try and, beat around the bush. Because if someone creates like merchandise, right? And all they want to do is just sell it and just make money. And they pretend, oh yeah, I just really care about people representing their beliefs. It's like, brother, stop lying. Like you're clearly lying to me. Like I'd rather someone tell me to my face that they dislike me than like pretend that they like me. It's like, look, if you just want me to buy your beanie, just tell me you want me to buy your beanie. I'll buy your beanie. I don't even like beanies, but if just be honest, right? But so if you're honest with yourself, find that out first. 2, resolve any assumptions you have about the thing that you want to do. And while you do that, do the thing. Like actually do the thing. Because without doing the thing, you'll never figure out like certain things that maybe other people can tell you. You can learn from other people's mistakes. But until you actually do the thing, you'll never actually understand what it takes to keep doing that thing to the level that you want it to get to. So yeah. That's a long-winded way of giving all those steps.
It's so rich. What you just said is so rich, bro. You can see there's wisdom. There's wisdom that's inside, bro. There's actual wisdom. Wants and desires. I never thought of it like that. Yeah. About one. That's actually, it's a proper theory, bro. Yeah, that's a proper theory.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, bro. It's a proper theory. Yeah. Bro, if you are thinking of doing anything, bro, he said it, bro. Just start, bro. It's action. It's action. Action is needed, bro. Just start. The first videos, if you look at the first videos, you see the difference. Yeah. It's not just wake up one morning and you have everything set up, bro. Yeah. Just get it done. And I keep saying this over and over again in all of my videos. Something that my mom told me is that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Straight up. And I say this every single time, bro. Just start and get it out of the way, bro. Yeah. Now. In terms of, I want to go into your gym journey.
Okay.
Because I saw a certain video.
A
certain video on the tube. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, can you lift this one just up? The microphone just up a little bit. Yeah, just want to lift it up a bit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
God is good.
That's cool. Yeah, there you go. All the time. So this video that I saw from this brother.
Oh no.
On the tube, he was documenting his whole journey. And it was a very powerful video. I can't lie. It was very, very powerful. But when I saw it before and I saw it after, I said, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
God is good.
Hey, God is good, bro.
Yeah,
God is good. Yeah. Bro, walk us through that whole time. Like from the beginning to when you realize that, you know what? Let me do something about it. And then what brought you to this point today?
I don't lie to you. I don't like being vulnerable. But I like I said, if it's for a purpose, I kind of do it. I won't reveal too much, but basically I was really like big. And this was, again, we were talking like about when I saw you first talking about I think freshman 15 and all those things. I was like, look, it sneaks up on you. You just be there, no. It's like, oh, you blink and you're like, oh, I'm fat now, and it's very gradual. Like it doesn't just kind of happen, and it takes other people saying it to you for you to realize that. Oh, it took my dad telling me multiple times that I was getting fat. Not that I was getting fat, I was fat. I was like, oh, daddy, why? I think at one point he told me, I cried. I was like, oh no, this. I'm 18 years old. Why am I crying? My dad told me I'm fat. Why am I crying? Like, what kind of man is doing this? And I knew my testosterone was in the bin. It was in the garbage. I was like, oh no. Like I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, oh, okay, this is bad. And when I came back from Ghana in 2019, right after that, when I decided I was gonna lose weight, pandemic happened. I said, what kind of timing is this? What kind of time? I said, now I can't go to the gym. That means I can't lose weight. That's a lie. Again, assumptions. My assumption was, to lose weight, you have to go to the gym. I hadn't done any research. I was just carrying my pre-made assumptions of like what I had to do. And then what really pushed me, the catalyst for losing the weight was, there was this lady, you know. I mean, I was in love. I was in love. You know. Wow.
Powerful.
But again, I was very immature. I think I had a lot of wisdom for sure. Again, from God, all glory be to God. Because I learned a lot from people. I listened to my dad, like whatever he says, I listen to it. And I think there's value in that. So I knew the kind of mistakes not to make. But when it's issues of the heart, man, you become an idiot.
Yeah, bro.
Like you become a fool.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah,
so the Bible says, guard your hearts, but out of it what brings the issues of life. So I'm like, I wasn't guarding my heart. But then there was no nefarious or ulterior motives with this love. I genuinely believe there was a genuine like affection. And I don't just say love like, just throwing it around. I genuinely think I love this person. But that reveals a lot about you when you actually are vulnerable with someone. Like you actually give someone, now it wasn't a relationship, but it was like an acknowledgement that, hey, I like you. Oh, and she also liked me. That was
tight stuff.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
and sometimes that's bad. Yeah. Because you get comfortable. Like you're like, oh, this person accepts me for me. I don't need to change. I need to do anything. And no, at least to me, people aren't normally that confrontational. Like normally, no one is that confrontational, right? So this girl who actually cares about my feelings is not gonna come up to me and tell me, hey, you're fat. You need to lose weight. Like that's not gonna happen.
That's wild.
Like they're like, and she can't phrase it in any way that's gonna make it sound nice.
I think like, you're a little bit over.
Yeah, I think you're horizontally you're a bit. I think you need to work on it. Now this girl's Nigerian, so I don't know why I'm talking like this. That's so silly. But yeah, no, I was just so comfortable, and I was like, someone accepts me, so I don't even need to worry about. And she never brought it up once. So I was just like, it is what it is. And again, not in a relationship, we're kind of acting like it, like the way we would talk to each other. So it's like very comfortable, and I was doing well in school. Like everything was going well, and I had just got my first co-op, bro. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you when you're in a bad place, but everything seems to be going fine. So it's like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's like, it's fine. So once kind of, there was miscommunication, a lot of stuff, that kind of stopped happening. Now I had to be by myself. Oh no, I don't like being, like I was used to being by myself in Ghana, but coming here, I was like, always had people around me. I could just go to my friend's dorm downstairs, just stay there for the whole day, go upstairs. I had a roommate. Like, I'm just always with people. Yeah. But then when you have to be alone with your thoughts, and all your worries and all your anxieties, and now you don't have someone to call and be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, and it's like, and then you talk for like 6 hours, and then you wake up and go to class, and everything's going well. It's just now nothing is going well, or at least you're convinced nothing is going well. I still had a job. I was still doing well in school. Like everything was fine. It was just that one thing that was completely. So in that moment, it revealed to me that, oh, okay, I knew I wasn't ready for a relationship, but it seems that there's something more that I haven't even figured out, where I'm reliant on someone else to be happy, and that's a problem. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, what can I work on now to, and it wasn't that, like, obviously hindsight is 2020. It wasn't like boom, 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 like it wasn't that logical. But at some point I was like, yeah. I looked at myself in the mirror on the day and I saw that I had breasts.
Okay, yep.
I was disgusted. To say the least, I looked pathetic. And I was like, oh no, this can't continue. And I went, what's funny? When I went to Ghana, I went to church. These people haven't seen me in like 3 years.
I can see. Oh my God.
Can I speak to you? Hey, David, why you you've gone big. Dave, you've gone big. I was like, why are you so mean? I used to hear the women in my life say that, you know, Ghanaians are mean because they always talk about weight and stuff. And I didn't really care about it. I was like, you guys are just, you know, and because at that time my metabolism was like this. I was athletic, you know, I was playing football like 6 hours. I was good, man. Yeah. So then when I got fat, I was, Dave, you've gotten big. I said, oh, auntie. I just had to smile the whole time.
Oh, auntie.
Like, auntie. Oh, thank you. It's like, brother, what the heck? And once I left and I went home, my dad was looking at me because he had heard people say that I was big, and he was just looking at me. And I was like, yeah. I kind of knew in my head. I was like, Daddy, can you please stop looking? And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, my dad loves to troll me, and I think it's great. It kind of pushes me out of that comfort zone. Yeah. So, yeah, it's like a combination of hearing people call me out, like actually just say I'm fat. My dad saying that, and this girl, us like kind of, you know, drifting apart for me to realize, oh, okay, I need to work on something. And that was the easiest thing for me to work on. Because, but when it comes to things that like internally, working on that is not like you can't have like a step-by-step. You can have a theory of how you can work on it, but it's not like, oh, if I do this, it should go away. Yeah. But you know that, so I started researching, right? And that's one thing I'll say. When you start researching, especially, you know, for the previous question about people who want to become podcasters or make stuff, whatever it is that you want to do, when you're resolving your assumptions, sometimes the information will be overwhelming. You're like, oh, there's so much. Oh, there's 50 different lighting setups that I can use. Oh, there's like 60 different cameras. I don't know which one to choose. That rhymed. Bars. I don't know.
Bro.
Even when I'm trying to rhyme.
Yeah, bro, spitting.
But yeah, no. So it was overwhelming, and I almost just like, I was like, do I even need to do this? Let me just focus on, you know, working it. It's like, no. And I just picked one. And to me, I picked calisthenics, which is basically just body weight workouts. And I picked the carnivore diet or keto diet. So that's basically just minimizing carbs. And I know in the Guardian diet, that's not like, that's not a thing. Like, it's just basically carbs. Yeah. And even in America, even when you're not on like a heavy carb diet, because of, you know, the lack of regulation in some of the foods, it's like really bad. Like, it's still like chemicals in a bunch of food. So even when you're not eating a lot, the kind of food you're eating is messing with your metabolism. So it's just like, it messes you up. So I had to cut out carbs completely. And I was eating chicken, salmon, eggs, beef. Now, I don't know if you've ever just eaten like that, but it's a great time. At least
really,
bro, I don't have to decide I'm going to eat this and like stress. I'll just finish my workout. And I was doing fasting the whole day. Like, I'll fast the whole day, work out, and then eat one meal.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was chicken and salmon, and I'll fry some eggs and ground beef, and then I'll call it a day.
Whoa.
And I was taking like cold showers in it, bro. When I tell you, like, this guy was different
on some David Goggins level, bro.
That was literally what I was just like, this guy is insane. Like, bro, when he tells these stories about like, oh, he was running when he had like a broken ankle, and I was like, brother, who is this man, bro? And I'm like, clearly the human body is capable of doing amazing things. Yeah. So when you watch all these different things, the point is that you can gain a lot of inspiration and you can be motivated, but there's also another side where it's like, can I actually do all these things that people are doing? It's like, you don't think like that. You have to think one day at a time, one step at a time. And once I picked, and like I said, sometimes because we overthink, I'm an overthinker. I think everyone is an overthinker sometimes. Because of that, sometimes you just have to make a decision. It doesn't matter which one it is, because out of the options you have, they're all likely good options. There's one there's a different ranking. One is definitely the best one, but you just pick the option that works now and is the easiest to do, and then you figure out the rest later. So whatever sparked the weight loss was like sort of like a heartbreak, but also people telling me, hey, you're kind of getting fat, and me looking at myself and being disgusted and saying, this is pathetic. Like, this is not who I'm meant to be. Like, my father didn't go through all of this. My mother didn't go. They're not investing in me. I have 4 sisters. I'm the only boy. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, wow.
Is this the kind of example I'm showing my sisters that, hey, just marry some fat guy? Oh my God. No offense if you're fat, but you need to fix that. I beg you, please. You need to increase your testosterone because you will suffer in life. Look, let me tell you this, and it sounds like vain and it sounds bad, but the kind of like attention you get is very different. Like, I used to run when I was fat. You know, I was sweating. So, you know, one day maybe I took off my shirt. I said, oh, I'm hot in some secluded area where no one will see me. Some people were passing, like this lady, this also, oh, look at you running. Like, very condescending. Yeah. Very like, oh, isn't that cute? He's trying to lose weight. Look at that. Adorable. But then when I lost the weight, now people are begging me to put on my shirt. Hey, put on your shirt. You don't want to see. I said, no.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No. Bro,
I understand it now.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, before you were like, oh, bless him. But now it's like, this guy's showing off. It's like, I'm not showing off. I'm still the same guy. It's
the
just
same dude,
now
bro.
the merchandise looks different. And now people kind of, people walk up to you. And I was joking. I'm joking a bit, but like seriously, you get a lot of different like looks and the confidence it gives you.
Yeah.
It's not just because. And one thing I would say is that I wasn't really doing it because I wanted to be healthy. Like that wasn't the majority of the reason. I was doing it because I wanted to spite this girl. I was doing it because I wanted to say, so now, maybe now you'll want me. Like now you want to be with me. But it's like, that's just not sustainable, right? Because to be honest, she wasn't even thinking about if I'm being honest. She didn't even care.
Yeah.
Like that's the same thing with like hating people or being bitter. Bro, they don't even care about what you like.
Yeah, I can't lie.
They're thinking about their own issues. Like, oh, Charlie, I guess we're not talking anymore. Move on with their lives. Like some people might still have bitterness, but most people aren't thinking about that. So yeah, I was doing it mostly for that. But then when I got what I wanted, I was like, oh,
Now what?
yeah, this is not sustainable. Like, okay, even if she was like, okay, maybe we can be friends. She never said we can be friends again. She didn't even care. She actually blocked me. I was like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Oh, that's great, man. So nothing I did worked. I wasted it. I'm gonna become fat again. No. But just like I was like, okay, it didn't work. Like the reason I was doing this wasn't. That's why I was saying that the advice is like you have to analyze why you're doing it. I wasn't honest with myself. I was like, yeah, I want to be healthy. Every time people would ask me, I want to be healthy. But then I was like, you know what? No, I just don't want to be fat. I want to look better. Like when I take off my shirt, I don't want to be like, ugh, and that was my main motivation. So yeah, once I started doing that, I just gained confidence. Again, not just because of how I looked, but because of the discipline it takes to do what I did. Especially, bro, I lost that weight in 8 months. I lost about 80 pounds in 6 months. It's 8 months. It's not really normal. That's not normal. Obviously, I was taking very drastic measures because cutting out sugar, waking up early, sleeping early, taking cold showers in the morning, basically doing a lot of working out, doing a lot of things that increase your metabolism, but also not giving yourself too much food. Because your body, like once you eat, when I started working out and I started sort of buying my own food instead of like buying food from outside and like just making my own food, I was getting like a steak, like a 1 pound steak, and it was 1,700 and something calories, and it was like 90 something grams of protein. I would just have one meal a day. And when you're eating stuff like that, you can't overeat because your body's like, oh, Charlie, we've had enough. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to eat like a bunch of just like, I mean, I know we're Ghanaian, it's like a joke that we love eggs, but like just like eat eggs, ground beef, yeah, right.
That's how Cobras inside this place. That's how serious Cobras, bro.
Hey, listen, eggs are the best ratio of fat to protein is effective. Any of you Nigerians out there saying, oh, listen, look at us. Do we not look like serious young men? Please.
Egg.
Anyways, yeah. So like eating stuff like that, and sardines too. I was eating sardines, bro. So a bowl of ground beef, eggs, sardines changed my life. Like just eating that every day, and I was just full. Like at the end of the day, I was just full. And my roommates would be looking at me like, this guy, like, is he insane? And they saw me lose the weight, and they were like, David, who is this guy? They didn't recognize me, and it made me happy because I was like, okay, clearly, if it's not just me seeing the change, there actually is a change happening, and I was more confident. Again, I think the confidence is the most important thing, and it doesn't just apply to losing weight. It applies to doing something you've never done before and achieving it to a level where you never thought. Like, bro, I looked at myself for a good 8 months. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing in the mirror. Cause like, me looking like this? Cause you only see people look like that in like videos. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm not bragging and saying that, oh, like I'm, my genetics. Obviously my genetics like play, but my dad works out, but he didn't have the kind of information and knowledge I have about like, working out and all these, like to actually maximize the potential of how your muscles could look and all these things. Like I really went like very scientific, right? So yeah, in terms of the catalyst, it was the heartbreak and, wanting to do it out of spite. And then in terms of sticking to it, it was just because I was like, this is the first thing that I've done that I'm genuinely proud of in my life. And when I started doing that, I gained the confidence to start making the videos that I was making. Because if I was fat, bro, I would never show my face bro, I would never show my face. Bro, I would do everything to not show my face in a video. That's why I was making just graphics at first. I was like, okay, I don't have to show my face. Because I knew at some point I would have to talk, right? In fact, there's videos of me from 3 years ago. Like, it's like a video journal of me talking to myself in the future as if I was going to upload the video to YouTube. And I was watching those videos like 2 days ago. I was like, wow, man, like I always knew I was meant to do this, but it's just like, I was just not living that. I wasn't living like that. And I think God needed, I don't like saying like God made it happen. I think he allowed it to happen. He allowed these things to happen. Obviously I made a bad decision and I was being a silly boy.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, I dug my own grave, but I didn't die, thank God, No, like literally. But like there wasn't anything too drastic that I couldn't come back from. And I'm very happy that happened. But yeah, lost a lot of weight. If you want to see the video, I don't know if you want to, like, I can send you pictures to put it up. But it was,
you see that change. If you see the change and it's different, bro, go and look at the video. I'll put it in the description, bro. Go and look at that video, bro.
Yeah.
Hey.
But I was more honest in that video. So if you want to really know why, like, yeah. But
do you know something? Your story is literally like literally parallel to my story, bro. In terms of like weight loss and all of that. I feel like mine is like it's like that. It's just like happened in different orders. So with me, I was also like the active guy with the metabolism and things like that. And then I fractured my ankle. Ooh. And as I fractured my ankle, you see me, I was eating like I was still active. But I was not active.
Your body was like, hey.
And then for like the whole summer, just eating. Then when I came back to school in Ghana, bro, you already know people when they see in Ghana, hey, Obolo.
Oh,
hey,
no.
Obolo.
Wow.
They see you say, hey, Bofty.
Oh.
Yeah, rough.
Oh, bro.
Rough.
And I think school is worse.
Oh, my
because
days.
you see them every day.
Oh, my days.
And they don't stop.
Bro.
Like, they don't, okay,
bro,
we get it. I'm fat.
Bro.
It's like, no. We're going to keep this joke going.
You are fat. No,
we're going to make this joke.
Bro, it could be like if you're doing like rap battles and things like that. The first thing they go to is,
brother, of
bro,
course,
you fat, bro.
Like, they don't say anything else.
You just
say
fat.
that, drop the mic.
Yeah, bro, you fat, bro. That's it. And they will leave you. Bro, that's how
man.
it was for like 2 some years. I'm just like, bro, I can't lie, bro. Am I fat?
Yeah.
And I was like, am I like, really? I was just like, and it didn't make anything better.
Yeah.
My mom was a fitness trainer. My brother was somebody who was also active. My sister too, same thing. My father too. You see my father looks like the Hulk, bro. And I'm like, bro, I'm just like, bro, am I the problem? Like, what's going on? And that's the more ammo. Everybody in my family is fit, but you.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yo, bro, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then that's when COVID hits. So when COVID hits, I told my mom, I said, Mommy, Charlie, let's go on
It's
that.
time to
Let's
lock
go on
in.
that. Let's go on that lock-in thing.
Yeah.
Following her diets, did everything like that. Then I came back. This is when I went to SOS, my first year SOS, bro. So basically, before I went to SOS, I was in classes. So going to classes, preparing for the exam. During that time, I was still a fat guy. COVID time hits. We came back. I entered SOS first year after the whole transformation account. When I take full shock. That time too, I also grew like 3 inches.
Oh yeah, the growth
bro.
spurt,
The
growth
other
spurt.
steez, bro. I was just like, yeah, I'm him.
Yeah.
I'm him. Da. But I was still a very silly guy. So even though like,
you have to keep the silliness.
You understand?
You
like,
have to keep the silliness.
bro, it just added some confidence there. I was just like, nah, Charlie, bro.
Yeah.
Now stop. Stop. All the people who just be looking at me like, hey, Charlie, this short fat guy there. What's this guy?
Bro.
Now there,
Yeah, that was like, I was actually short too. Like I was the shortest in my class in like Kumasi, but all of a sudden something happened one day and I just kind of short. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay,
I understand.
Yeah. Sound like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. And then, so you see, when I say that there's a parallel, is that there's also a situation that also happened. So that's your situation. You understand?
Yeah.
And that also kind of sent into a period of grind season. Me, it was basketball. It wasn't gym. It was really basketball. And then the eating healthy and things like that. Mine was the books. So me, I was eating healthy in terms of the books.
Just consuming knowledge.
Bro, I was just into the reading and but when I tell you that it was like we had school and we had to be at the dining hall at like 6:30. Bro, I'd wake up at 4, go and play basketball from like 4 to 5:30, get ready, be at the dining hall by like 6, and I'm just reading till 6:30. I'm just sitting there, just preparing, just getting my day ready, bro. The journaling, all the things that I've been doing, bro. I went through books, bro, so many books, and it was during that whole period of time because I just wanted to be like, I'm working like to show like levels, like like now sup, like I'm him. Like I just use a lot of anger, like that's like I just channeled that anger and put it into everything. And then what happened was that when I realized that I reached a place I'm no longer angry. It's like I lost that drive again. Like it was harder for me to do those things. I'm just like, why? I'm just like, because I lost my why. And I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, you can't lose that why, bro. You
I
can't lose that why.
Bro,
Did you ever like formally establish that why, or was it more like kind of just running on feet? Like obviously it was a good, what you were doing was good, but like did you ever like sit down and say I want to do this because of this, or was it just like I'm doing this?
You mean like during that period of when I was like in that grind season type thing, or
I'm saying whatever started that grind season.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're saying like you had a why.
Yeah.
Was that always like a good why, or was it just like the anger?
Nah,
like you said?
I feel like I never really sat down. I kind of just internalized it.
Yeah.
And I just went about my day, and I just wanted to just. I think that's what basketball did for me. It's like a way of like letting out that stress, letting out that steam. Like, and there's something about like you see in SOS, right, the basketball court where it is, it's in the middle of the track and it's pitch black. So at 4 a.m., like literally just you, the ball, and the hoop.
bro.
And when I think that's just time where I'm just like training, bro.
Yeah, that's a
running
dream, bro.
Drills, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, I wake up in the morning, bro. I just wake up. And another time too, I had one of my friends, bro. We'd go together, the 12 of us, because he's also going through his own thing. 12 of us, we are bonded in pain. so
I
the 12
love
of
that,
us,
man.
we running drills, bro. We just be
Yeah.
going at it, bro. And just like, you can feel that certain sense of like aggression that's coming. But at the end
Yeah.
of it, like, it's like you let off that steam.
Release, yeah.
And it's just like, bro, before the day starts, just be able to get that out. And like,
Yeah.
bro, that place, if you shout, no one will hear you.
Yeah.
That's how open it was.
Yeah.
So that whole period, like, that's the only thing that like got me up in the morning, being able to like get away from that. But I never sat down to be like,
to like formalize, yeah.
this is why I'm doing that until after.
I think as guys, and sorry ladies if I'm alienating you, but I think I'm not a woman. I mean, in America, actually, you can if you want to. But no, I think as guys, you definitely need that. And I think I know you said it's different in terms of like what we did, but it's still like a physical thing. Like we chose physical exertion, because obviously we at the same time I was also consuming like a lot of podcasts. I was learning a lot, and it was that time where I realized that there's actually some wisdom, and there's some things that I'm good at articulating. It's not just like, oh, I just say whatever someone else said. I'm actually good at whatever this is, right? But I think the physical exertion is necessary, because when you don't have that, it's like there's a lot of pent up like energy. And bro, like when you think about the school system, bro, where they say, oh yeah, sit in class for like 4 hours or 8 hours. I'm like, I don't think guys are meant to be doing that. Like, and then when a young boy, you know, especially in this country, right?
Yeah.
When he's not able to stay in class and be still, they're like, oh, he has ADHD. It's like, no, he is a young child, a male, who needs to do physical stuff. Like, you're telling me, bro, one of my classes, all my classes, I'm doing my master's degree, all of my classes are 3 hours long. When I tell you, I can't sit, like, you expect me to sit and listen to someone read off a presentation for 3 hours straight, and we get a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break. I'm like,
Long.
I'm sorry, you might as well just like forget the break. Let's just finish this thing and let me go home. So I'm saying, like, you know, having to just kind of not physically do anything and just be there, it just doesn't help. But as a man, when you start doing these things, you're like, oh, okay, I can feel like this feels nice. That's all I know. And you know it's how like guys, you know, it's a meme, but whenever they have their heart broken, they just go into the gym,
Bro, like,
and I love that. I love that so much. Like when I don't lie to you, there are some guys I'm like, you need to get your heart broken, because you have no drive to do anything. And it sounds bad, but because this is me. This was me.
Yeah.
You need someone to destroy your heart. Like, they need to grab your heart, take it, squeeze it, step on it, and say, hey, here you go. And by the way, I don't love you. And you're like, oh, that's so sad. Like, then you'll actually be like, okay, I need to change something.
yeah, now it's time to lock him, bro.
Because sometimes we just don't know what's like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And if someone loves you for you, which is great, you know, like, ladies, don't get me wrong, if you love him for him, you know, great. But also he needs to be better. Like, and that love is holding him back. So break up with him. Make it as traumatic as possible.
Guys, he's not saying do that.
No. I am saying do exactly that. No, I'm kidding. But if you have a brother, right? If you want him to be better, just find him a nice lady, very lovely lady. Pay her, project 6 months. Say, hey, I need you to love this guy completely, fully. And then right around the 5-month mark, break his heart, because he's not changing. We've tried everything, all the interventions. It's not working.
You know something?
Hey, but let's be honest, it's a catalyst, right?
Yeah,
like it will
does.
get you going, right?
It
And
does do.
even people who are self-starters, who kind of, you know, take initiative.
Yeah.
When something external like that happens, and again, obviously we're joking around, but when something external like that happens, it kind of like, you kind of get up and say, okay, I need to do something. And it doesn't always have to be like a romantic thing. It could genuinely be like, and I hate to say this, but at one point, like, I know someone who lost like a family member, and that's when his like switch came on. He was like, oh, this is like real. Because, you know, I think I've lost some family members in my life, but they're like, I wasn't that close to them. So I felt bad. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's like I wasn't that close to this person. I feel bad that I don't feel bad, but it's like I didn't know this person
Don't
that
know
much.
the person like that, yeah.
But when it gets like a bit closer, you're like,
Rah.
that has a little kick to it. I don't know what's going on. That's kind of spicy.
Yeah.
And then now you're okay. I have to do this. And sometimes it could just be something someone says. Like my dad, and I was sharing this with my friend. Like I told my dad, like, it's like, oh, daddy, I love you, right? And I've gone in. I mean, my father, he didn't grow up with all that, right? So he's not gonna say, "Oh, I love you back." I mean, he said it before, but what he said was like, "Oh, thank you." And then what he said next, it was like I was kind of like laughing. We were both laughing that he said that, but every day, because he said that, I've been thinking about that word every day. He literally says, "Hey, brother, I need you to push for me." Like that's what he says. I need you to push. Like, and I keep thinking about that word. You could say it empowered me. Like I'm not really joking because when and my dad doesn't really like talk like that. He doesn't really say like I could tell he was saying, "Hey, listen, like you're getting older now. You need to like you're only born." He said a lot without saying a lot, and he said push, and I said okay, I understand.
You understood.
And I understood, and it's like okay, now I need to actually do something. So it doesn't always have to be something traumatic happening. It could be someone you care about and someone you respect telling you hey, or even calling you out, but not in like a confrontational way, but saying hey. Like,
come on, bro.
Come on, like step on the gas a bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I felt like I wasn't doing that, but now I'm just like, nah, screw it. Like I have to do this. Like no matter how many things I need to work on, and sometimes we feel like, oh, we're imperfect in certain ways and we need to fix that before we do certain things. But it's like, bro, with what is at stake and what the stakes of the situation, you need to actually say, you know what, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I just need to sit down and say, I'm gonna do this thing and just start doing it. Like no matter how many mistakes I make, I'm gonna mess up. But I'm going to make sure that I keep standing up. What does the Bible say? It's like, what? The righteous man falls down, 7 times, gets up, and he gets up every time. It's like, look, you will fall down. Like, you will fall down. You will fail. Definitely. Like, and figuring it out is not beautiful. It doesn't look pretty. Like, if you see, like, the first version of something, it looks ugly. Like, it looks unrecognizable. If you look at the iPhone, the first iPhone, and you look at the one, it's like, what? Yeah, to be honest, I don't lie to you. iPhone people, you're all the same. Let's be honest. Every version has been the same. So not the best. No, I'm kidding. But if you see the evolution of something, like you were saying, it doesn't look like your first videos look very different from they do now. Like it's not going to be the same. And a year from now, people are going to look like you're going to look back at your videos and be like, oh, wow, this is so. You might actually have an actual studio where you go and record yourself. You just never know what's going to happen. Amen. Indeed, you just never know what's going to happen. And when I was trying to tell you that the idea that I had. The guy who started doing those things, I'm now like, I want to say like best friends, but we talk somewhat regularly, right? Yeah. And I can talk to him and text him, right? I would never have thought that was a possibility, but now I'm close to some of those people. I'm like, I was sitting in my bed 3 years ago at 3 a.m. fat with my shirt off in my bed, chewing Chick-fil-A, saying, "Oh my goodness, so much motivation! This is so great, so great!" And now. But I'll never tell them this because it's so embarrassing. But when you're sitting there in your bed and you're in a pathetic state, watching someone else chase their dreams and go after what they want, and you're like, man, like I should do this. And then the next day you just go back to your default state. It's like, okay, this is not. And then sometime after, because you made that one decision, you took that first step and decided, you know what, I need to change what I'm doing. And now you're in. Like you're in a hand stretch away from these people. You're like, "Whoa, this is crazy." And also, like you actually hang out with some of these people. You're like, man, this is insane. It's
wild.
And again, I give God all the glory because the way some of these things happen, like you said, some of the people that you follow commented on that bro. That one video that I made about the Imagine thing. Yeah. Those like bro, about 15 of those people that I follow commented on that video, and that's because one guy saw it. One guy that I follow and look up to, he posted it on his story, and then they all saw it. And then I said. One video that took me 30 minutes to write the script for this video. It took me 10 minutes to record this video. It took me 30 minutes to edit this video. If you add all of that, that's 2 hours. 2 hours of my life that led to me possibly changing my life. So, and obviously before that, I had put in tons and tons of hours, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But all of those hours led up to those 2 hours of my life that I never knew that I thought, oh yeah, this is just a mundane video. And it was a new style completely too. So again, I just wouldn't underestimate what you're capable of because of what you haven't done yet. Like if you haven't done it, you haven't gotten to a certain level, you can't assume I'm not going to be good at this. That's just foolish. Like that's a silly thing to think. And don't get me wrong, I think that for some things too, right? Like when I leave this place, the things I'm going to start doing, like it will shock me because I don't even know. But like I said, you come on and you kind of articulate the things that you're thinking about, and you're like, oh shoot, like I need to push. Like I can't just sit there and talk about these things. And that's what we do sometimes. We keep telling people our plans, and it's not that they're bad people, but they'll tell you, oh, that's a good idea, and you get that dopamine hit. It's like, yeah, that is a good idea. Yeah. And then you're just coasting for the next like 2 years, and nothing happens. It's like, no, if my friend tells me he has an idea, you're doing. Like, I'm gonna keep you accountable. And if you don't want to do it, do not come and tell me anything. Because I'm going to make sure you do it. And if you don't, because I know me, I know that if I tell someone something and they say, hey, that's a great idea, I don't like compliments. I mean, sometimes I do. Because when you give me a compliment, I'm like,
You don't know what to do.
oh, that's nice. And then I just become complacent and comfortable. But when I'm not getting that validation that I want, that I think we all have some desire for, and not maybe not like to who we are, but like you want viewers, you want more viewers, you want people to actually hear what you have to say because you believe you have something important to say. That is some sort of validation. Okay, what I'm doing is working, right? But so because you want that validation, you have to say, okay, what do I have to do to get that? Like, what am I doing here to actually get the thing that I want? And if you're not doing it, like you'll just keep being miserable and keep thinking about that thing over and over and over again. So I think you just have to do the thing, and then you figure out, oh, okay, I'm getting to where I want to be, but I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was before. And you kind of just keep getting better from there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense, man. Oh, I when you were talking and you were saying, like, this is just going back to the catalyst, right? One thing that I also realized too is that just as it can lead to a positive thing, the opposite is also true. And it can also send people down the wrong path as well.
That's true.
So that's why I honestly think that the reason why when the catalyst happened for you and it happened for me, we went up instead of going down was because of the environment that we were in, like how you were raised, or like the fact that you have certain knowledge about a situation. At least for me, that's something that I credit to literally the only reason why I didn't go the wrong way, and I decided to use it for my good. And there's a theory. It's like this guy said it. Hopefully I can remember it properly. Is by Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you know who that guy is. Basically, he had this thing about superheroes and villains. So the superhero thinks that something bad happened to me, so I'm going to work so it doesn't happen to other people. And the villain thinks something bad happened to me, I want others to feel my pain. So it's literally, the difference is one is a hero, one's a villain, but they both had something bad happen to them. So speaking to those people who, for lack of a better term, are in that category of being the villain, what would you say is, I guess, the out, or what would you say is the solution that you think could change things for them? That was a tough question, bro. That was a tough question, bro.
Those are change lives, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Someone's watching, like, doing heroin, watching this, like, one I would say, I know you said villain, like you don't really mean villain, but I think that's a at least for me, that was what, and don't get me wrong, when I had that heartbreak thing, I didn't immediately just say I'm gonna change my life, because when I decided to do that, that's when COVID happened, and I chose to not, like, I chose to go for spite. I chose to go for the they'll see, like, I'll show them, and I chose to, the way I talked to people that time was very different, bro. I don't lie to you, like, people, I'm normally the guy you go to and you want some hope, some encouragement, but when that thing happened to me, oh, David, like, what, like, I don't want to get too dark, so I won't go there. But I was gonna say something. I was like, nah, maybe another time. But like, they would come, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really, like, I told them I don't really have the emotional capacity to kind of talk about these things, and they would just kind of, oh, okay, and then just kind of move on from there. Like, these were my friends, like my actual friends, and I was like, I know I want to help them, but there was something in me that was like, nah, screw this. Like, why should I help someone else? Like, when I barely know what's going on, like, why should I help? And I had the ability to do something, but I just chose that, you know what, forget it. So what I would say to those people, aka me, like 2-3 years ago, is that you'll always have a decision to make, because no one is just a villain, and no one is just no one's just a hero. Like, the hero is just someone who makes the decision to serve others consistently. Do they make selfish decisions? Of course they do. I'm sure they do, right? And I think the villain is just someone who keeps making the constant decision to be selfish, and they do it consistently. Like, you're doing something consistently, and it's going to lead to a certain outcome. So for me, because I kept making those decisions to kind of not treat people badly, but just be indifferent and apathetic, I kind of lost, like, the bond I had between me and my friends started to, like, go away. So it's like, every time you have that choice of, like, hey, do I act like someone who doesn't want to hurt people just because I'm hurt, or do I just kind of decide against that? You can still be honest. Like, you can still be like, hey, like, I could have still been like, bro, I don't really want to, like, I don't feel like being like I don't feel like help, but still saying, you know what, but I'll still try and, like, encourage you in a way. Like, I feel like that's better than go away. I never said go away, but I think that's so. So I think every time you're in that, you always have a choice. Like I'm sure people say, "Oh, I had no choice." It's like you did. It's just that one choice felt like you had to make it, and the other choice felt basically impossible to make. So, and when you're ever, and I think all of us have a conscience, and we have a conviction. It's like, okay, now your convictions may be as light as a sparrow's feather. Like to you get the conviction. You're like, who cares?
Yeah.
And I think that's what allows people to continue being villains or continue going down that path, is that the conviction they don't feel it as much. It's no longer as potent. But when you decide one day, you're like, hey, I want to make a video. I want to treat this person better. I want to call my parents. I want to do this. I want to do this inherently good thing. But there's this voice that's telling me, hey, if you don't do it, then so what? Like, who cares? Like, just do the other thing. Like, just like whatever. You have to decide. And I don't know what it's gonna take. Maybe pray if you believe in Jesus. Pray, say God. And sometimes you don't even want to pray, but just in your head, just be like, God, I really I want to show these people out. Like, I want to show them, but I know it's not the right choice. Because guess what? Inevitably, if you keep going down that path, making those consistently bad decisions, or basically not like non-righteous decisions, it's gonna end up hurting you in the end. It's not gonna hurt. Like, you might hurt someone else temporarily, but as long as they're seeking God and as long as they're trying to do the good thing, they'll end up being happy because they have joy. Like, there's a joy that kind of, you'll inevitably end up doing. Like, if Tristan asked me to do this thing, and maybe because I was angry or sad, I was like, screw you, I won't do it. 2 years down the line, this guy now has 50 million followers or 50 million subscribers.
Amen.
And I'm there like, hey, Charlie, maybe I should have done that. You know what I'm saying? But because of that one silly decision, because of my emotions, because I reacted and I didn't respond, right? I reacted because of my emotions. Now I missed out on an opportunity. And not just to say that, it's like a transactional thing, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, if you help someone else out with, you're not paying me to do like, but this is an interesting conversation. And I'm even honored that you would ask me to do this. If you think like that, instead of like, I'm doing you a favor, like, I don't know, life just kind of works out better. So I would say humility is the most important thing. Just realize that, okay, I'm hurt. And maybe I'm the most hurt person in the world right now. Obviously, that's not true, because objectively, there are other people going through us.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't undermine what you're going through. But just actually sit down and think, long term, is this sustainable? Can I keep doing this to other people? If someone else did this to me, what I'm about to do to this person, would I like it? How would I see them? Like, if I told this guy, sorry, I can't do this anymore. I don't really want to do this. Maybe he won't hate me, right? Mm-hmm. He'll see me be cordial, but obviously he's gonna have a very different mindset about me. Like, he's not, this guy's different. He's a bit.
He's an odd fellow.
Yeah, he's an odd guy. I wouldn't talk to him, again. And guess what? He's gonna keep doing what he wants to do. He's gonna keep going after what he wants to go after, and he's gonna get it. And I'm gonna still be bitter like 2 years later. Like, you don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh yeah, my old classmate Charlie, I saw him. He was on the side of. It's like, you don't want to be talked about in that way. You want to be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, he was having a hard time, but he pulled through because. And even though he had some tough days, he was resilient. He built that resilience, and I think that's what you want to do. You want to say, God, please help me make the decision. And even if you don't believe in Jesus, I hope you do, at least.
Bro,
if you don't,
not
yet.
Train, bro.
Don't worry. In about 2 weeks, we'll do something. The Holy Spirit will come and visit you.
Amen.
But if you don't have anything like that, I would just say consciously, just make the decision. Like, make yourself make the decision to choose that, because like, I don't have to tell you what I don't have to tell you what the right decision is. Like, some decisions are more like, this is the right decision, but this is a better decision. But when it comes to this is the right decision, this is the wrong decision, we kind of know. Yeah. Like, maybe you don't know the right decision, but you know that the wrong one.
Definitely
it's
the wrong
like
one.
exams, right? Like,
yeah.
I know these three are definitely not the answer. So the only answer left is this one. Like by process of like elimination.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Abraham Lincoln is definitely the answer to this math question. so let me get rid of that. So it's like, you kind of deal based on like the process of elimination if you believe that you don't know the right choice to make. But I do believe that it's a conscious decision to say, okay, I know I can easily say, piss off, or like, I don't want to talk to this person, or I want to go down this bad path to make sure that people feel what I felt. But you can say, okay, what's the opposite? I'm going to do that. And maybe you don't do it well. Maybe you mess up, and maybe you don't make the best choice, but you still made the choice that you knew was better than the choice that you were going to make, the choice that you're comfortable with making. Because, bro, that season of me like wanting to not hurt people like physically, but like basically not the best. It was like a year. It was like a year or 2 years.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it wasn't like, I just decided to be better, and hey, we are here. It took me a minute. And I wasn't going to church. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my Bible. Now, there were days where I would sit down and I would just cry. Like, I would just cry to God, because you're hurt. Like, you're hurt. You know you're hurt. Like like deep down, every guy who's like, all these like playboys, like they hurt people. Like there were people who had their hearts broken, and they decide, you know what, everyone's gonna feel my pain. It's like, okay, like they're all heartbroken, like because they actually love this person, but they're broken now. So that how they see that thing is now distorted. Like if you were in love and you were heartbroken, now how you see love is twisted, perverted, and that's what the devil loves to do. He'll take something that's pure and just ruin it. He has no originality, right? And again, it doesn't matter if you believe in the devil or not. Man is still working.
Yeah,
like
bro,
your flesh is still working
bro.
against you. Like, and even if you want to make it say, it's your mind. Sure, just say you overthink and you start to do things that you shouldn't be doing, which is just not logical. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you start sabotaging yourself because of what someone else did? It just doesn't make sense. So please, I beg you, just like don't choose spite, don't choose hatred, don't choose bitterness. Just choose to make the better decision. Even if it doesn't come easily to you, and even if it's not fun, you just have to say, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'll do this. And you won't regret doing that thing. And even if you regret it, don't worry, you'll get over it. Don't worry. You'll get over it. Like, because you'll start doing that thing enough times, and you're like, oh, this was the best decision I ever made. Is that taking that first step to choose to be kind, to choose to be a loving person instead of that bitter person. And guess what? Maybe when you go home, you may still have that feeling. Because if I'm like, I can go home and cry. Like, but as long as I'm in the moment, saying, you know what, I'm not gonna go home and cry.
He's okay, guys. He's okay.
I'm okay. Yeah. But as long as in the moment you decide I'm gonna treat this person kindly, I think that's the best thing you can do. And again, I don't like saying baby steps, but take the step that is 100% of the effort you have at the time. Maybe you have a 50% capacity, but if you use 100% of that 50%, I think you'll realize how that capacity will keep increasing, and then one day you'll be able to do it at like full capacity. Yeah,
the biggest step to take is always the first step.
Yeah,
once you take the first step, it's momentum.
Exactly that, bro.
It's facts. It's facts. Yo, by the way, just so that you know, right? Yeah, we've done probably like an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's been quite a while, man. We've been good conversations. I've been really enjoying to just understand your perspective. And I think it's very, very important that we are able to pick something from this conversation. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, bro, y'all know what to do, man. Y'all know what to do, bro. You have to just, bro, let this guy know, please. Let this guy know that this guy, he get wisdom. let him know that he has wisdom. Because if this video has impacted you in any way, please just go to his page and just shoot him a message. Be like, yo, bro, I like the video, bro. I saw the video. I like the video. Just encourage him, man. This is actually what you've been saying. I'm just listening. I'm just like, yo, I know so many people that need to hear this. I know so many people that just need that extra, like, bro, just that paradigm shift. They just need to see things in a different light. And I'm just like, yo, thank you, bro, for coming on the show, man.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I have, and this is not me bragging, I have 1.2K subscribers on YouTube right now. I have 39.2 follows on Instagram. I did all this while having a bunch of insecurities, having a bunch of imperfections, having terrible habits and vices that I'm working on. Some I've completely gotten rid of. Some I'm still working on. I'm not going to tell you what all those are because that's kind of weird. But I'm saying you can do this too. Like I used to sit there and watch some of these people who I now talk to on a somewhat regular basis, or at least I'm able to communicate with them, the people I admire, somewhat regularly. And I'm like, I used to watch them and think, I would never be able to speak to this person. But now I'm like, they follow me, I follow them. I'm like, that's so strange. And I don't think I'm actually where at the level that they are at. I'm definitely not there. But somehow I'm still communicating with them and like they like some of them see me as like, I'm actually friends with these people. And like, you can do you can achieve greatly without even having to be perfect. Because again, no one is perfect. Jesus was the only perfect one. And guess what? They killed him. So I mean, I don't know why you even want to be that. Because people will see perfection and be like, nah, we have to kill this guy. So please, if you are trying to be perfect, if you want to keep your life, relax. I mean, we should work towards perfection. But if you ever want to be perfect, just know that they'll kill you. So I think that's the biggest. But like I said, I want to be very honest with you. I'm talking like I have everything figured out. I'm very. God has gifted me, I think, with being very witty. And based on what, our conversation, I can tell that we both kind of learn a lot from other people. We consume a lot of knowledge and we don't just say, okay, I know everything. We just kind of, and even people that like, I don't expect to know something more than me, I know they know something I don't know. The principle I've lived in my life, I think it was Jordan Peterson who said this. It's like always assume that someone knows something you don't. I don't care even if they just started the gym last week, if they tell me, hey, I learned this new technique, I'm all ears. Because guess what? If it's something I can use, I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look even better when I'm running shirtless. You understand what I'm saying?
You get the point, man. You get the point. Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I'm saying you don't know what you don't know. So always be open to learning what other people have to say. And I think that's the most important thing. But like I'm saying, I'm just some guy who decided that I have something and God has given me a talent or a gift that I think he wants me to serve the world with. Therefore, I'm going to start somewhere. Now, I haven't uploaded a video. Until today, I hadn't uploaded a video for like a month or two, and I've been lazy and complacent. But guess what? I'm not gonna let that stop me from I'm not gonna not keep going. Like I know there was a bunch of compliments he gave me at the beginning, and it sounds like, wow, I'm like this amazing. I'm just a normal guy. I promise you, man. Again, obviously, a normal guy with who's done something that not many people have done, but still normal nonetheless, because I still have insecurities and vices that I need to work on, same as everyone else. And guess what? Maybe objectively, you are actually better than me. But guess what? If you're not doing the thing that you need to do, like these people, the people that you don't respect, the people that you don't want to have a platform, they have a platform. Like, but if you think about the degeneracy that's online these days, I don't want that to be promoted. Am I just going to sit there and cry and be like, we have to actually sit down and say, okay, as Christians, as Ghanaians, like coming from our culture, like we respect like family, like discipline, like we care about certain things, like traditional stuff. Like obviously, again, it's always going to be different based on every household, right? But I'm saying if you want the things that you care about to be propagated throughout the world, you have to ask yourself, what do I have to do to get to a position or even just talking to people to actually make sure that these values are spread around and not just because the world is just going to keep getting worse. Like, I don't know if you've been online at any point in the past few years, but the degeneracy just keeps getting worse, bro. Like, I'll go and I'll see a video on Instagram. I'm like, is this a joke? Like, is this real? Like, why is it? Are these clothes? Like, you see the kind of stuff? I'm like, this girl, it's her father in the house. Because what is this? And even some guys, I'm like, who trained this guy? Like, why is he talking like this? But anyways, I just wanted to highlight the fact that there are things that I'm working on that I haven't fully fixed yet. And my weaknesses may be your strengths. Like the things that you're good at, I'm not good at. But guess what? I'm going to keep like building and keep working on what I need to work on to get to where I need to get to. If you're allowing your weaknesses to stop you from aiming higher or like going on a path to get you to that higher place, I think you're doing yourself a big disservice. And I think I don't want to exaggerate. I think it's a bit of an insult to God to decide to not use the things that He's given you.
Is.
It's a big insult.
It is.
Completely.
Straight up. Bro.
And some people think they don't have a gift. I'm like, you have a gift.
Bro.
It doesn't have to be singing, dancing. Like, it's not a traditional thing. But even just being able to have a conversation with someone and just smiling at them. Do you know what a smiled... Charlie, I feel like I'll talk for another 2 hours.
But I'm saying, Charlie...
like, today I wrote the video I made was about basically how... I wonder if people envy me as much as I envy, or I wonder if people know I envy them as much as they envy me.
I saw that.
Because like you look at, this is not like a modern example, but if you look at like a swordsmith, right? If they make a sword for, let's say Tristan is a knight, I'm a swordsmith. I make a sword for him, and he starts wielding the sword, going crazy. Like this man is doing like amazing things with this sword. I'm like, oh wow, I wish I could do that. But then Tristan is looking at this sword like, wow, this is like great craftsmanship. Like, how did he do this? He envies my craftsmanship and I envy his swordsmanship. And we're like, we both envy each other, the things that we have, but guess what? I didn't let that stop me from making the sword, and he didn't let that stop him from wielding his sword. So even if you look at someone else and say, oh wow, I wish I had what they had, obviously, like, the Bible says do not covet, right? Like don't let it consume you and start hating other people, but you desire what they have. You think what they have is desirable, right? Don't let that stop you from developing your own skill set and developing your own sort of the way you do things just because someone else might be better at something else. It doesn't matter. You can try and do what they do. You can't do it like them, but don't let that stop you from doing your own thing. I think that's the most important thing that I would highlight in all this. And that's how you empower people, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro. The biggest mistake that you can make is believing that you do not have a voice.
Oh, man.
Bro, everybody has a voice. Everybody has an opinion that needs to be heard, that needs to be understood. And believing and thinking that you don't have one or you are less important is nothing but a lie.
Yeah.
Bro, whatever it is, bro, you have a voice. Just don't be afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Because with that voice can come a lot of change, a lot of positive change. So, bro, be the change you want to see, man.
Amen.
And, okay. Wait, I want to see how I'm going to do this because I kind of forgot the question. So there's a YouTube. Basically, I do this tradition, right? and it is basically the guest.
Mm-hmm.
My last guest asks a question to the next guest, and the next guest asks a question to the next guest. So it's like you kind of keep the thing going.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, man's kind of forgot the question that my dear brethren asked me.
You're good.
So we just going like, you know what I'm saying? We'll cut
Freestyle.
all this part out. But don't worry about it. It's all going to be cut out. It's all going to be cut out. I'm just going back to watch the video real quick. By the way, if you've not seen the video, go and watch the video. I think it's a good time to just hit that little plug, you know. So
Yeah, like and subscribe, Charlie.
Yeah, I already got it. Okay, so let me ask you that question. So the question, right, that the previous guest asked is, what do you think your purpose is, and has it changed over time?
That's a good question. I think in general, I think my purpose is still to serve people, but I guess I'm seeing how that has evolved in terms of how I do it. Because initially I thought, yeah, just make videos, right? I don't have to know these people personally. I don't have to talk to them. And that's sort of like an easy way out, right? If I don't have to actually deal with the emotional turmoil of any of these people, like if you just watch my videos and I didn't talk to you personally and I was like, oh yeah, just watch my video, you know, that's great. You know, I'm sure it would help you. But if I don't have like personal relationships with people, I feel like I'm leaving a lot on the table. And I think there's sort of cowardice there where like I'm scared. I'm scared to, you know, be emotionally involved with this person because I feel like I don't want to be vulnerable with it. Like, so I think for me, I realize that there's an evolution there where it's not just like, hey, it's you and the world in front of you, because there are people behind you and people on the side, like on your sides, that you need to talk to as well. It's not always, hey, like I made this video and even if 100,000 people follow me, if I'm not able to help my sisters, my mother, my father, my friends, even the people that I don't really know, but the people that are around me, if my attitude was terrible on this campus, my purpose wouldn't be fulfilled because I'm not serving people. I'm serving the people that I don't see personally, the people that I don't have to deal with. Like, because if someone sends me a DM saying, hey, Dave, I'm struggling with this, I don't have to respond.
Yeah.
Right? Because I get like tons of messages and I'm sure they'll understand if I don't respond. Right? But the people who see me and talk to me physically, they know how I really am. So I think in terms of the general purpose, it's still to serve people, but how I see that has changed from, oh, just make videos, keep making better videos and talk and help people there. And now it's more like do that, but also the people that are right next to you, your local community. In fact, I would say start there first. It had to start there first. Because if I didn't really talk to people and try and learn other people's struggles, I would never really be able to do what it is that I'm doing right now. So I would say that's what has happened. It's gone from just focused on an outward facing thing to more like, okay, now I need to focus on the people in my community as well as that and kind of combine those two perspectives. So yeah,
bro, that's a beautiful way to answer the question, bro. You answered that question. You really answered that question. Now it's time for you to ask the question to the next guest. By the way, I have no idea who the next guest is going to be, so feel free to make it a beautiful question.
Am I allowed to take some time to think? Or
yeah. Feel free, bro. Feel free. There's definitely time to think about the question. There's definitely time. Whilst you're thinking about the question, I think this is a perfect time for me to now go into the little things that I had planned. You see, unfortunately, I was supposed to do this at the beginning of the video, but if you're watching up until now, I really messed with you, bro. We logged in, bro. If you have watched up until this point, screenshots what I'm about to show you and text it to me on my Instagram or my Snapchat and I'll repost. And if I'm not following you, I'll follow you.
And you send you $1,000.
Yeah. You see, I didn't say that. You see, I didn't say that, right? Anywho, so I think the past 2 weeks, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, my mom, shout out to Momsy, she released this new book, right? 10 Easy Ways to Eat Well. And I don't cook, but after reading this book, I think I'm gonna start cooking. Right now, I don't have the facilities. I'm like, I have the facilities. I'm just being lazy.
Excuses.
Yeah, excuses. You get the idea. But really and truly, like, if you're thinking of eating healthy, you're thinking of maybe just learning how to cook certain recipes, easy recipes, by the way, I really believe that this book is something that would be very beneficial to you. In this book, you have a grocery list. Bro, you have literally everything you need inside this book to eat well. She literally details like, okay, if you're going to the store, get this specific thing. She even adds, I think she added the QR codes that you can scan, and you can even get the nutritional value too as well to add it to it on top. So you know exactly like the calories that you're going to eat and what you're supposed to take. There are 10 meals, 10 easy things, and you can change them throughout. So it still keeps it interesting. And bro, it's just a good book. Like I'm just mentioning, I haven't even read the full thing. I've read a few of the recipes. I'll try a few of them. If you guys want to see me do it live, you want to see that too, we can do that as well. But yeah, definitely. I just wanted to put this out here that, yeah, man, this is a very good book, honestly speaking. And yeah, if you're looking to get one, it's available on Amazon. You just have to search, I think, Canfor-Dumas, and then you put 10 easy ways to eat well, something like that. Then the book should come up. If you are in Ghana, I know it's at Medimart, the pharmacy, and there's also the Actionable bookstore, so you can go there, go and get your book as well. And yeah, it's just a good book, bro. Yeah. So, David.
Yeah.
Do we have the question?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I feel like it's gonna be a basic question, but it is what it is. What does success mean to you?
Okay.
And why do you measure success that way?
That's okay. Okay. What does success mean to you, and why do you measure success that way?
Yeah.
That's a very good question, but I ain't gonna cap, because a lot of people think that success is like the physical things.
Yeah, the tangibles. Yeah. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted now. You know, it's part of the conversation.
You have to make some dollars, you understand?
The dollars is important. That's
but,
true.
But that's not all. At least for some people, yeah. So
everything that would be a very, very interesting question to ask. And now on that same line, who would you like to see come on this podcast?
Who?
Yes. Anybody in your mind, anybody you can think about, who you'd like to see come on this podcast?
Like literally anyone.
Anyone.
Praise Asalu. Yeah. I don't know if you know. Well, I've gotten to, like, I watch a lot of his content, and I think he's a Christian believer, and I just admire the way he does things, and I respect his work ethic especially, and he's a more of like more fashion stuff, which like you don't really find a lot of Christians in. So that industry of like entertainment, fashion. So you don't it's hot, like it's a very unique perspective. Yeah. Because imagine there was a Christian in like in Hollywood, right? You want to know what they think. Yeah. You're like, how are you surviving? All of these people are debaucherous human beings. Like that's crazy. But yeah, like how do you kind of navigate that, and how do you stay close to God even in these industries? Because you have to work with a lot of secular people, but also just like his work ethic and how he's doing things, and his YouTube channel, the growth, and just his mindset. I think I would be interested in seeing. Okay, bro.
Praise, right? It's praise, right?
Praise, yeah.
I have to go and check out his stuff. Bro, is he
from Nigeria?
Yeah.
He's in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Bro, definitely, bro. Yeah. If you're seeing this, definitely, bro. We definitely have to come on, because if David is plugging you, bro, bro, yeah, correct.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That's good. Now, David, I have not done this before, but do you have anything that you would like to say to anybody who's watching this? Anything like that? Anything else before we close out this podcast?
I would like to, I mean, the guys specifically, but I think this applies to women as well. But if you're ever doing anything and you do it solely to get validation, or you do it solely to get the approval of other people, I'm not going to say stop doing it, because what you're doing may be a good thing. But just know that it is a vicious cycle that doesn't end, and you will keep doing those things. And it's like a temporary, it's like a drug. A hit of validation here. Oh, she looked at me. Oh, this person liked my profile. These are all nice things. And don't get me wrong, like I see the likes and I enjoy it because they're objectively good metrics for measuring how you're doing with something. But I think when that's what you kind of thrive off. And if you don't get that validation, you see your day goes in a very different direction. So whatever you're doing, if it's ever, especially if it's outward facing, like a podcast or like just something that requires you to do something for other people, or even like your gym stuff, right? Like I know I made jokes about me like running shirtless, but like a part of me used to, and even to some extent still, is like seeking validation of someone say, hey, oh, you look good. Like you, and if you keep doing that, you'll realize that it's like you'll have to keep doing more to get just a little bit of that attention. Like you said about the video you posted, the 40K, and how like some of the videos you're making now aren't even hitting like the order. Like you will feel like you have to do something even crazier to get even a smaller amount of what you used to get before. Facts. So I just especially when you come to uni, I think it's to the freshmen specifically. I beg you, do not let someone else determine your value. Like I honestly Because the things you'll find yourself doing, God, if I wrote down some of the things that I've done just because I wanted attention, I think you would look at me very differently. So I'm not going to tell you what I've done, but I think you just need to be very careful, because you'll end up in your desperation for that attention or validation. You'll end up dropping some principles or boundaries that you have just for the sake of, I want to please this person, or I want this person to like me. Please don't do that, because this person, they might not be a bad person, but they might not be worth you dropping your... Like, no one is ever worth forgetting your principles for. Because if your principles are rooted, especially in Christ, please, nobody's worth it. Sweetheart, my sisters, please. I know what he wants to do. Don't let him do it. And boys, I know what you want to do, but you need to value your body. You need to value your mind. You need to value your time, especially. And not just like physical stuff. I'm talking about like emotional, especially. Because you'll find yourself just, whatever this person wants, I'm going to do it for them.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, listen, focus on your books, focus on improving yourself, and focus on God most importantly, please. Because if you don't, God is literally an eternal hope. And if you don't have that, you'll find yourself looking for hope wherever you think you can find it. And it's nowhere else. Like, you can find a little bit of it here and there, but if it's not in something eternal, you'll kind of just be mucking about, just doing nothing really. So yeah, I know that was all over the place, but yeah, just don't seek validation from people and don't make it your core identity. Because if you don't get that, because that validation will run out one day. And if you don't have that, what are you? Who are you at that point? So yeah, figure yourself out. Godspeed.
bro, if you guys don't know, that's what he says at the end of his videos. I've been watching for a while. So Charlie, I don't know. I don't know. So, David Nana, for those who have listened to you speak, who don't know about what it is that you do, don't know where to find you, where do they go?
Well, I have an Instagram, which is valiant.poet, VALIANT.POET, poet. That's Instagram. Same thing on YouTube. Actually, at first, if you type Valiant Poet, you wouldn't even see my name. But now, because,
type stuff.
They are saying the search engine optimization has caught me. So when you type in Valiant Poet, it should get you. Or you can just type David Nana. You can just type David Nana, and you'll see my page there. And I just make videos really just about life, specifically rooted in Christian principles. It's not going to be like explicitly about Jesus every time. But what I'm saying is, whatever I talk about is rooted in and sort of inspired by biblical principles or biblical stories or just wisdom in general, because I think all wisdom comes from God. And whether it's someone like a quote I heard from someone else or not, and I write poetry as well. I also write scripts where I kind of have a conversation with myself, detailing how I think, which is mostly sort of my lesser self talking to the self I want to be, and that conflict that goes on between us. I actually have an idea where I want to do like a whole podcast where it's just me talking to myself. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know how I'm going to, maybe I'll use this setup. Who knows?
Maybe.
I didn't even ask you. I'm just like saying, so now you have to do it, it's a commitment.
Now.
But yeah, so poetry, philosophy, Jesus, that's really who I am. Yeah. And, sometimes you get some fitness in there once in a while.
Bro.
It's all part of it.
bro. If you guys see him on campus, bro, this guy's always in gym clothes because he has either left the gym or he's going to the gym. Bro, this guy, Charlie.
I live there.
Yeah, bro. This guy is him. He's him. So,
that.
Guys, if you are also messing what's going on with the podcast as well, please hit that subscribe button. Yo, we hit 500. We hit 500 subscribers, and also we finally cracked 1K in one of the videos. So yeah, man, shout out, bro. Big up to God, bro. And so yeah, and also thank you very much to everyone who has watched and supported me along the way. Yeah. This would not have been possible without you guys and just giving me this platform and allowing me to continue to impact people. We are joining. We are parts of this movement. We are impacting lives. We are changing lives. We are empowering lives. And I thank you all for joining us. And yeah, man, if you're messing with me, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, and Charlie, you know the socials, bro. You know the socials.
Also, if you see him in person, follow him around. For sure.
You know something. Okay, actually, if you see me in person, just come up and say hi. Hi is cool, bro.
No. Observe him from the bushes and just take pictures of him and say, "Hey, Justin, I love your podcast."
Please don't do that. Immediately that will be forwarded to the
Jackson police.
Yep. You know. So yes, this episode has been so fun, so interesting, so insightful, eye-opening, bro. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Honor.
Thank you so much. And yes, without further ado, I believe in you. We believe in you. Go and make the world a better place. Don't just live life, but thrive. W. Finito.
All right.
Now, that's pray that the thing is still recording.
Bro, I swear.
That's how it is.